Hello and welcome. Thanks for the wait. This is... Oh my god. What was that? There was an echo there for me. That was really surreal. But hey, we're here. We need a plan. This is session 12 of Curse of Strahd. I think we just had an echo there, which is really surreal. But it's all good. We'll see if it plays up in the future. How is everyone? I'm getting a really weird double echo on you guys. This is really
Doing good.
Yeah.
Fixed
Doing
it.
good.
Fixed it.
Doing good.
Good.
Doing
Nice.
good.
Doing good.
I fixed the echo. It's all good. It was on my end.
Okay, good.
Okay.
We're all doing good. Fantastic.
Yeah, we're fine. Awesome.
Yeah. I mean, we're just going to dive straight into this because we're behind a little bit and because technical problems may arise again. So right now, as things are about possibly as good as they're going to be, we're going to just go for it. So, recap from last week. You guys decided to pursue one of the bits of information you'd had. This is going back just to the session before. You heard of an entertainer with a monkey, known as Gadolf Blinksy. He's an individual who runs the toy store in town, and you went to his store and essentially managed to get out of him that he had no idea what you were talking about. He seemed like a generally nice guy. And a few of you made some toy purchases, but it became clear that he was not the person you're looking for, and it seemed that the individual you're looking for was in fact, as you knew him, Rictavio, the individual looking for actors that you met earlier in the day, or possibly the day before, in the tavern, in the Blue Water Inn. So after that, you decided to go and confront him. But arriving at the tavern, it turned out that he had just left. But you managed to catch up with him in the stockyard, where after a bit of pushing for information and a bit of digging and a bit of not quite threatening, but passive, maybe not passive. I don't know what you call it. You guys kind of surrounded him, but after mentioning that you had had a sort of a card reading, and that you were looking for someone who was more than they seemed. He came clean with you about the true nature of his, the reason he was here. He's not actually called Rictavio. He's in fact an older half-elf, hiding in a disguise of Rictavio, but who's actually called Rudolf van Richten. Now, Van Richten, from the brief amount of time you spent with him and chatted with him, he appears to be, he's a sort of like a vampire hunter of sorts. He seems to carry around with him a crossbow, and is very much on the erring on the side of wanting to remain relatively anonymous, but was happy to sort of share this information with you guys. You sort of swapped stories a bit more, and it turned out that he keeps something in his cart that he's still not going to tell you exactly what it is, but basically something that doesn't like Vistani. He seemed to have a vendetta against Vistani, but you went with him regardless. After chatting with him, he seemed amiable, and you took him to the church where you formulated your plan, where the party was previously sort of divided on whether or not to go and actually visit Strahd on his invitation that he gave you the day before. You decided to just head out west to the town of Krezk, or the village of Krezk, which is where Rain comes from. It's effectively giving up the opportunity to go and visit Strahd because the sheer amount of distances left you without enough time to return. But the party united, headed off west with Arena in tow, but leaving Van Richten behind as he had a bit more research to do in town, as he was sort of looking into the amber doors that you mentioned from your reading. You seem to have some idea, at least on the remaining card readings that you'd had. Whether or not you believe in them, that's an entirely different thing. But you headed out west to the village of Krezk during the day, during the morning hours, and arrived around midday, where you were denied entry to the village, as they generally don't like outsiders. And although you had Rain with you, that was sort of one of the stipulations of when he left. And considering well, I won't get into too much detail due to backstory, but considering his reasons for leaving, there was, although there was no bad blood or anything like that, they weren't just going to let him back in. However, they made mention of a wine delivery that was overdue from the Wizard of Wines, which is to the south where you are now, and you journeyed down there over the next couple of hours, arriving and sort of meeting the family or the owners of this winery. It turns out that this place has been invaded by plant-like creatures and druids, seemingly under the thrall of Strahd, and you decided to help them out as they've effectively overrun the winery and are making it impossible for any wine to be delivered around Barovia, which is their only source of alcohol, and for a lot of people their only source of joy. So heading into the winery, you're accosted by a shit ton of these sort of plant-like creatures outside, and sort of forced to retreat inside. You've come across a couple of druids who you've been kind of fucking up, and as well as a few other of these plant creatures. You're a bit split at the moment, and we are in the middle of combat, so we're going to jump straight into that combat. I think we got to the top of the initiative order, so that's where we're at right now. But let me... Oh my god, why is that not visible? Why is that not visible? So I can't. The battle screen is not visible on stream for some reason.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I know. It's fantastic. Yeah, everything else is visible, just not.
Let me check this out.
Yeah, let me just get that working. Battle map.
I did open the stream up. That is actually quite funny. It's like an empty hole.
There we go. Boom. It's all sorted. Magic. The power of being technically adequate. Okay, so I'm going to put some better music on, but as we're at the top of the initiative order, I will give you guys a bit of a recap on terms of where you are. Zadie and Rain and Rhea, you're all sort of downstairs in the central area. The druids that were up the top of this walkway above you that were slinging spells at you have moved away. And you saw them head through a door to the very western end on the upper layer. There are these twig-like creatures pouring out of this one of the casks, and in addition to that, Trundle has sort of gone up. Last you guys have seen of him is that he's gone in through these doors here and made his way up this sort of spiral staircase that you guys can't see, and away into the building. Trundle, you've sort of run face first and then from behind into two druids who look rather beaten up and rather shocked to see you as you sort of transformed, and I think you've lit your claws as well in your hybrid form.
I'm also a little shocked to see them too. It goes both ways.
It does indeed, but they look relatively beaten up. However, behind one of them, there are a couple of these sort of twisting massive vines that are sort of forming into a rough shape of like a humanoid, and their hands are starting to sort of curl out and twist towards you. However, we'll get to that in a little bit. We are on Zadie, and I'm gonna jump into some, like I said, some more battle-y music because that's kind of appropriate. So it's probably gonna be way too loud, and we're not gonna get looped on this song anymore, but we will let it play out. So without further ado, Zadie. No enemies to the west are there anymore. Your spiritual weapon sort of hangs. I think it's got 8 rounds left. However, you can hear the sound of Guzza struggling with or smashing apart a couple of these twig-like creatures that you can see from where you are. Again, it's not well lit in here, but you have dark vision. Oh, sorry, you have blind sight, and therefore you can sort of see the rough forms off in the distance of these twig-like creatures spindling out and starting to swipe at Guzza. What would you like to do, Rhea? You're up next.
Cool. Well, I feel like Guzza's quite strong and they're made of twigs.
You're not wrong.
So I'm going to try and follow the druid.
So in terms of distance...
Leads me up to...
Yeah, so that's 10, I'll say 15, 20, 25. So that'll move you. You're going to move up, so I know your roll 20 is being a bit janky. But that gets you to about there, so you've gone up. I'll ping you so you can see where you're at. You're up there. Yeah, you're all going to get pulled, sorry, but it's no other way to do it. And again, these ravens that you see up here, they're not bundled quite as much as it looks like they're more spread out, but they're sort of formed into these rough clusters of ravens, and they all seem to just be eyeing the whole situation quite sort of warily.
Can you move my spiritual weapon to where that would be on here as
well?
well?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, it is kind of up there anyway, because that's where you were swinging.
Yeah.
So your spiritual weapon... I can't... Have you made it permanent?
Aha!
What
I can move it.
I can move it, but not normally. There you go. Oh my god, stop. No. No, there we go. It's about there. That's where it was.
Hello only answers to me. Okay, cool.
Yeah, however, the door that you saw them go through is shut.
Okay. Do the ravens look like they're about to attack me?
Not really. I gotta make a nature check.
Cool.
We'll get the result.
Great.
Yeah, I mean, you're not too well versed with ravens. They don't look like they're like perched to jump at you, but they're birds and they're not kind of your forte. So they're kind of eyeing this whole situation a bit oddly. They kind of hop away from you a little bit as you move up the stairs and move through. You do have about 5 feet of movement left. So again, for ease of purpose, if you want to go that way, you can make it another 5 feet.
Well, in that case, I'll use my dash action.
Okay. All right. So
Get as far as I can to the left.
okay, so that'll be 5, 10... Well, you move there, and then 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You can get to there, so you're near the door, but you haven't quite made it up. So, Rhea, for your perspective, I think, and Rain, you can see Zadie up around there, if you see where I'm pinging, but on the layer above. She's run up the stairs and just barreled her way up there. The door near you, like I said, is shut, but you can hear a commotion behind it, Zadie. That's your action, that's your movement. You still have a bonus action.
Well, since I can't see anything to hit, I'm just gonna be like, "Hey, you crow people."
Sure, yeah, you say it. Hey, dude, you crow people. A couple of the crows just sort of, as you speak in their general direction, a couple of the crows kind of just like hop about and caw a little bit. You don't speak Raven, so unfortunately you don't know. You have no idea. But there's part of you that kind of wants to believe that they are. Whether or not they are, you don't know. Rhea, you're up. Again, you see one of these things crawling out that's attacking Guzza. You can see a couple more that are starting to pour out the back end of the barrel on the far right of the room. What would you like to do? Rain, you're up next.
Well, I'm currently floating about 20 feet in the air.
You are, so you probably can't quite see that then.
But I can see the one attacking Guzza, can't I?
Yes, you can. That you can definitely see.
Okay, then I'm going to aim a short bow attack right at the back of its head.
All right, go ahead and make the attack. Say it does have slight cover, but 23 will definitely hit it. You don't need to roll sneak attack. 10 damage is more than enough to kill this thing. As you again take the shot, it just slams into the back of it, and almost like the power of the arrow slams through it, breaking it, causing the tension built up within the twigs that form this thing's body to just splinter out and burst. Guzza, you kind of have to pull your arm up a little bit to deal with the burst of it, but it is just blown into smithereens, and there's just a pile of twigs left in the kind of the rotting vines that have fallen away from the entangle that was in the area. Nice shot. You can't at this point really get a bead on anything else in this room, but you do still have your movement bonus action.
Yeah,
Well,
and I know that a druid disappeared through. That one disappeared off to one side, and then two disappeared to the other, didn't they?
correct.
Okay. Yeah. So I'll call out to Guzza, watch out above you, and then I'm going to start sort of dragging myself along the wall, sort of like pushing off in the same direction that the two druids went.
All right, go ahead and make an athletics check. Because you do have a short bow in hand, and this is like you kind of trying to use your strength to sort of pour it into your movement a bit. You'll still be able to move, but you might not be able to move very far.
Okay.
Because you're sort of again, your movement in the air is kind of very different to not even like climbing. Yeah, I'll say you're able to make it about 10 feet. To which way are you going as well?
In the direction of the
like east or west, shall we say?
West.
West. Okay, so you basically end up above where Rain is. I'll say for ease of purpose, you can move 15 feet, so you're not on top of him. Just for the ease of visualization. So you're able to pull yourself across. Again, unused to be able to sort of move like this, and it's like I said, it's not like normal climbing. But you're able to get yourself across the wall. That's your movement and your action. You still have a bonus action effectively. I'll say go ahead and if you're trying to move, go ahead and make another athletics check. To see if you're able to move any further. I've already given you a little bit more than you kind of got, but because it's a separate thing.
Yeah.
We'll see. Okay, 10, you're able to move another 10 feet, so you're effectively at the edge of the railing, quite near Zadie, but you haven't got over the railing yet. So like next turn you'll be able to kind of move relatively easily and pull yourself over. But Zadie's kind of near you again. If that's your intention, I will move you up to where she is. So if you move up on the map, you'll be able to see where you are.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So you can see you've got yourself to there, but you're not over the railing yet, and that's everything. Okay, Rain, you're up.
All right. So these stairs in front of me, right?
Yeah. They sort of lead up, and again, you saw Zadie dart up there. She pushed past you to get there.
I'm going upstairs too.
Okay, so it'll be 5, 10, 15, 20. Guzza left downstairs. So you get to there. I've moved you up to the top layer. Again, there's no enemies up here that you can see. However, as pointed out by Rhea, by Sophie, I suppose, you've seen 2 of them head off in the direction where Zadie and Rhea have gone. And you've seen one leave through, sort of popped out, cast a spell, and then left through the eastern door over to the far side. Yeah, it's kind of gloomy in here, but there are windows where...
I cannot see a door on the east.
Let me see what you
up
can
the stairs.
Yeah, you're upstairs right now. If you look over to the east...
It's the door up the stairs.
Yeah. I mean, this is... It's like the same layer, effectively. These are sort of relatively short stairs, but this door over here...
Okay.
That's a door right there. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll take a step, 2 steps this way, and wait.
Okay, so you doing anything with your action?
If anything hostile comes across, I'll shoot it. But
okay. So you hold your action to attack any enemy that you see. Okay. It is now Druid in the Room's turn. Now this is really interesting. As he sort of sees you appear there, there's like this kind of look of confusion as you rock up Trundle, and he's kind of badly hurt as well. But seeing you there, oh goodness, this is really bad for them. Like they. Are you mentally saying that to them?
No, but I'm just messing around.
Yeah.
Wish I could see this because I've no idea how it looks.
They're gonna grab their staff at the side of the room, pull it to them, cast Shillelagh on it using their bonus action, and as the weapon glows briefly with this kind of pale white greenish light, they're then going to swing the Shillelagh at you, and with that attack, that's a 20 to hit.
That does hit.
Okay, so the damage is magical, so it's not reduced for you, I believe. Yours is a non-magical, non-silvered, I think, for your damage. So you do take the full 7 damage as they sort of like desperately like swing at you, blood kind of streaming across their face a little bit. They just crack you in the side, and it kind of winds you. You feel this kind of the air leave your breath. Your breath leave you, and they're going to then press themselves to the side and just sort of say to the things behind them, they're going to go, just get rid of this one. That's their turn. However, it is now the 2 Vine Blights behind's turns, and as these vines sort of tangle up, they're going to...
I'm in a tight spot here.
Damn, you're in a tight spot. Yep.
We're in that spot.
Okay, so the one at the back is going to lumber forward, and from there is going to try and constrict you. So using its constrict, that is a critical hit. That is a natural 20 with its constrict. So as these vines sort of extend from it, and you're sort of shocked. Again, the vines wreath around you and start to just like tighten across your body. You're already sort of winded, and unfortunately that gives them the ability to, catch you off guard. Now, again, the damage is halved because this isn't magical. So you take 16 reduced to 8. So you take 8 damage from this vine creature as it sort of extends out these limbs. However, you are currently now restrained. So marking you
what
with
are the implications of being restrained again?
You have
between all
disadvantage on attack rolls. Attack rolls against you have advantage. Your speed is 0. That's part of the grappled part. And then the other one, seeing the situation, is going to do exactly the same thing. It has advantage on the attack as you are currently bound. And that is a 19 to hit. So
that hits.
Yeah, so you take another 5 points of damage. So that's a total of 7 from the original attack plus 8, 15 plus 5. So that's 20 points of damage total. As the vines from the first one wreath around you and sort of bind you in place, as you're sort of gasping for air. The other one just uses the opportunity to kind of wreath around the top half of your body, and you find yourself pretty much enwrapped in these vines that are just twisted around you. For the sake of this, I'm going to say that only one of them has you restrained and grappled, so that you're not going to have to. It's not like if you break one, you're still caught by the other.
Gotcha.
But
that's very generous of you.
I can't tell if that was sass. However,
I'm just
I know. But Zadie and Rhea, you hear the sound of like this kind of slurping and sliming behind the door that you're near, as well as the sound of just like something hitting bone or hitting someone, and you just hear this almost like this mental like oof, sort of pulse out that you can tell is Trundle. You can't tell exactly where it's coming from. Okay, that is their turns as they sort of writhe up and do this to you. It is now your turn, however. So Trundle, as these things wreath around you, as you find yourself struggling in this situation, what would you like to do?
Attempt to escape.
Okay, so you're going to use your action to try and break the grapple. It does take an action to break the
I
restraint.
believe so. I have disadvantage on all attacks, right?
You do, currently. But it will take your action to try and break this.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and run because I ain't gonna hit anything.
Okay. All right.
That's all I can do.
Okay, so go ahead and make an athletics check to try and break the grapple, I believe. You do have advantage because you're in your hybrid form. So,
Oh, nice.
so go ahead and roll that with advantage. Okay, yeah, that's good enough. Okay, so yeah, you manage to sort of, as the second set of vines start to wreath around you, you're able to bat them away, and using your claws, you're able to sort of tear through the vines that are there. Again, just severing some of them and giving yourself an opportunity to run. Where would you like to go?
I would like to run. I would like to. Can I run straight south, like downwards through the person? Is that possible?
You can
Or
try.
do
You can
I have
try.
to go?
You can try. It'll take your bonus action to try and run someone over.
Oh,
Again,
no, I won't bother with that.
Okay, if you
I
fail,
don't want to fail that.
well, effectively, if you fail, you can still. You could. I'm gonna say because I can't remember the exact ruling. I'm gonna say if you fail, you can still move somewhere else. You can
It's
still
gonna be
move.
down or right.
Well, effectively. So what I'm saying is, if you want to try and move south, you can try it, and it
Sure,
will use
let's
your
go for
bonus
it.
action. But if you fail, you can still move east.
All right. What should I roll?
Okay, so it's an athletics check or an acrobatics check on your half, and I think it's the same for them. So I'm just going to give them. I'll say it's athletics for them because it makes more sense, which actually works out. So
Still on advantage for strength.
that is true. Yeah, even though they roll pretty high, that is not enough. So as you, oh wait, the 16 was from before. Okay.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
failed.
my bad. I thought the
Yeah,
16 was from
God.
the original roll. That's pretty painful. Yeah, so as you try and barrel your way through, the druid who's there is just taking up too much of the hallway to really let you through. And as they see you try and make a break for it, having seen you kind of get entangled and try and make this desperate play, they manage to sort of just shoulder you back, even in your werewolf form. Even though they don't look particularly happy, they're kind of pressed against the door, but they're able to still stop you moving. You can still head to the right if you like, but as you imagine.
Yes, please.
Okay, so as you move, they are going to take AOs at you. Thankfully, because of the way the doors lined up, the vine creatures aren't going to get that opportunity because they have a reach of 10 feet, and by the time you're out of that radius, you're way gone. Or you're way behind some doors. So the two druids are going to take attacks at you. The first one with the shillelagh is going to swing at you, and as they swing, that is a 13 to hit. I don't think that hits.
It does not.
Okay, and the other one in desperation, again, just swinging with their normal quarterstaff, that's a 5. As you move, as you sort of shove them back enough, they lunge and try and connect with you, but you're just fast enough to break the point at which their sticks kind of clatter and hit the ground behind you. Yeah, I mean, you're out of their range. You still have 20 feet of movement.
I'm going to probably move up near around where the stairs are, just in front. I'll
Okay. Yeah, get
move to about there.
That's
and then I'm
exactly
just
where you
gonna
can make it, yeah.
Guard the stairs. Perfect.
Okay, fantastic. You make it there. Okay, now at this point, Gaza, you hear the sound of snapping and moving twigs as another 3 of these things start to pour out of this out of this barrel from behind, and I would say rain. At this point, you can just see one of them as they make their way round towards Gaza. If you want.
Could I see them from up here?
You can see one of them. The other 2 go around the other direction, but you do get a line of sight of one of them. So if you want to take the shot, you can.
Okay, I will take the shot. Well, that's what I prep my action for.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so go ahead and make an attack as you see this bundle of
Alright.
sticks start to just like run at Gaza.
Bundle of sticks.
You're sort of aiming down. Yeah. Yeah, 23 is like definitely fine. 11's definitely enough to kill these things. So as you take the shot, poof, you hear this sort of loud thing echo, and quite a few of the birds around you just sort of flutter away and sort of perch themselves further away or on the railings nearer Zadie and Rhea, or even just to the eastern side of the room. However, you see as this bundle of twigs, as it's got its momentum going, before it has time to reach Guzza, it's just kind of just turned into a sort of almost a twig cannon and just gets blasted across the room. This one being entirely destroyed. However, the two remaining ones are effectively running round this and are going to try and attack you, Guzza. So 2 attacks from these twig blights as they move at you. The first one is a 17 to hit.
Hit,
Okay,
yeah.
for all of 2 piercing damage. The other one is 20. High rolls for these to hit, but they, they both hit as these things sort of take you relatively by surprise. Just the claws come out and rake against you. The wounds that have just healed up from your lay on hands from last session reopening as they sort of manage to just get in through the chainmail. Their spines effectively just very effective apparently against your chains. However, they do stand about 2.5-3 feet tall, so they're not like physically imposing to give you a visual, and you can hear the sound of scratching still within inside this barrel in front of you. That'll be their turns. It's now 2 druids' turns. Okay, interesting. All right, this one is going to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. In fact, they're going to get to there. In fact, no, they're going to get to there. And you hear them sort of running after you, Trundle. How they're going to bring their hands together and unleash this just explosion behind you as they cast Thunder Wave as you start running down the stairs. They're going to cast this at 2nd level as they bring their hands together and just poof, blast it in your direction. Wow, that's some terrible damage. Okay, so
Good.
you've got to make it's a DC 12 con save. I know it says 10, but that's just wrong. So as they cast the spell at you, it's a DC 12 con save. Okay, so you take 3 points of damage as the lightning echoes out, but the room and the hallway around them sort of somewhat sponges the actual effect and doesn't have quite as much potency behind it. However, you do, like I said, you do still take the 3 points of damage, and as they see you kind of moving away in their frustration, they are going to 15, 20, 25. They're going to dart inside this door next to you. However, again, with their movement, they leave the door open. You can still see them sort of just moving in the door at this point. Through that door. In fact, I will open it for you. Just move it back, whatever. So you see them moving there. The one remaining druid that you know of is going to step in into near where you are, Rain. You're going to see them come through the door to the east, them clutching this dark, gnarled staff that the others don't seem to possess. And looking across the room, seeing you and hearing Guzza below there, and seeing the others across the room but too far away, effectively, they're going to just look at you, smile, and
smile and wave, boys.
in fact, this one is going to cast Entangle on... No, you know what? They're not going to do that. Okay, yeah, they are just going to throw a Produce Flame at you, Rain. So,
Ew.
from across the room, a fireball comes in your direction. That's a nat 1. It sails off and, kills a stray raven that you just see just sort of burst into a fiery, ball of feathers. And you just see the druid sort of clutching at that stuff, just angrily, but also kind of manically hop back through the door and disappear away. That's their turns. Irina, it's her turn, so she's going to go 5, 10, interesting, 15, 20, 25, and make an attack that you guys can't see. So she is going to make an attack. That's pretty good. Okay. You don't know where this is happening, but she's apparently fighting someone that you know of now. Guzza, you're up. Zadie, you're up next.
Right, I will swing my scythe against the one closest to me. We'll go to the one to my west.
Sure. Go for the attack.
And I'll choose just a classic one, because I think these things aren't worthy of big boy hits.
Big boy hits. A 17 will definitely hit, and it will definitely kill them. So effectively, these are going to be really good for you. Effectively triggering your Great Weapon Master, meaning you can make another attack with your bonus action. If you bring a hostile creature to 0 hit points. So again, just swinging your scythe through, much like cutting through swaths of grain that you've done in the past. These things, you cut through them like hot butter, and they just sort of splinter across the wall. The one next to you, sort of again, needles retracting, slightly coated in your blood. Would you like to make it? I mean, what would you like to do?
Yeah, let's do that again. Sure.
Super awesome.
Go ahead and make the attack. An 18's good enough, and a 14 definitely kills them. So you're just like cutting through these things. However, you can almost already see like the tendrils of more climbing out of this barrel. That's your action, your bonus action, but you still have your movement as you just slam through these things, harvesting them for the harvest.
Wow. Yes. Shan't here. Can I, with movement, can I climb up the wall behind me? Or is that an action?
If it was like traversable in like a reasonable way,
Sure.
you'd be able to move at a reduced pace. Usually it's half. But this is like effectively just a stone wall. It would be pretty hard to climb, but in addition to that, you've got like another 5 feet out where the actual way up is. So it's not just to climb up to the banister. I mean, if you were basically, it would be very difficult. You could definitely try, but it would be a pretty high DC.
No, I will instead, considering, because I'm not like some... If I could do like the climber feat, maybe that would be cool in another time, but not now. So I'm going to see what Irina's gone up to.
Sure. You saw her go up the ramp up there, yeah, so 5,
2...
I'll say
this way?
I'll say 15 to get there, and then 20, 25, 30. So you're able to make it. You've moved up, by the way. You're all now on the top level.
Hey.
You see as Irina sort of just run at this this druid clutching this staff, and has just sort of run her rapier through him, is sort of drawing it back, but is ready to sort of parry him away as he looks manically at her. But you're sort of definitely behind the action at this point in time. So that's your move.
I'll move up to her.
That's as far as you could get, yeah.
Oh, sorry, I understand. Yeah, fine.
Yeah, so you can make it all the way up. Okay, perfect. So Zadie, you're up. Ray, you're up next.
Cool. I want to go through this door. Open.
Okay. Yeah, it's your free action to do so. So as you step through the door and swing it open, I will remove it from play. There you go. You see this druid standing there in the doorway, having sort of just like with a glowing quarterstaff, having just swung down, and is now sort of pretty badly wounded, but is looking at you manically, and you see behind them these kind of viney tendrils wrapping around the doorway slightly.
Okay, I'm gonna move up to them and bonk them.
Okay, go ahead and make your attack roll as you move in.
Ooh,
Not like that. I mean, maybe like that. It's up to you.
No judgy.
Normal. Yeah. Well, great. Well done, Zadie.
A 9 does not cut the mustard. I'll let you know now. A hero point could get you there, but I'm not gonna. Push
Yeah, I've got some of those. I'll roll a hero point.
Go ahead and roll d6.
Oh.
That won't get you there. Unfortunately.
Probably that was worth it.
Not quite
But
enough,
it
unfortunately.
could get you there. That's the main thing.
It could have, but coulda, woulda,
We all
shoulda.
hope. Okay, bonus action. I'm gonna bring.
Spiritual weapon.
Now I can't move my spiritual weapon. You stole it.
I apologise for nothing because I now have all the control again. But you want to move it through, and again.
Also hit it. Yeah.
Okay, you like to swing at them. This one is. This one is a guy. The one down the hallway that ran after Trundle is a woman. But yeah, so you bring the spiritual weapon in.
A bit better.
Whoopah, 18's definitely good enough to hit. They had 7 hit points left, so how does your spiritual weapon kind of bring them down at least?
It just like caves in their skull, just like a mace would, but better than mine did.
Delicious, fantastic. So as it comes in, as you fail to hit them, they kind of step back with their glowing shillelagh quarterstaff, and then your sunburst mace kind of just drives through and caves their head in. Quite simply, their kind of dreadlocked, matted hair is just pushed in, and they fall face first into the ground as your mace hovers up again and gets ready to swing at something else. For ease of purpose, I will delete. In fact, I will put them at the back of the room. But I'll mark them as dead, so you know where they are. However, these 2 viney creatures, sort of just again in their humanoid forms, or like humanoid shapes at least, look at you. This is not quite. They don't have eyes, but I mean neither do you. So they look at you.
Am Am I in? I can't tell. I'll take a couple of steps back as well and just be like, oh, there's some shit in there.
Okay, so as you step back, it's kind of directional doorway shit. One of them, the other one is just too far around the corner. The other one is going to try and constrict you as the vines move away. As you step out of its range, it's going to, attempt to constrict. So, normal roll. It's a 15 to hit.
Nope.
Okay, it doesn't quite make it. As you step back, you see these vines pull out, and they actually catch the edge of your shield, but you're able to just wrench it free and keep stepping back. But that is, unable to connect as it wreaths around. You still have 10 feet of movement.
Get out of the way of the door. But...
Yeah, you have 10 feet of movement, so yeah, that's absolutely fine. Okay, so you step back. The door is open as well. Rhea, you're up. Rain, you're up next.
Okay, seeing Zadie sort of go through and then step back, I'm going to step through the door.
Okay, so you float over. You're still levitating, so like... It's a bit messy.
Oh, okay, sorry. I'll lower myself onto the however many feet it is to the ground. It's not
you're right at the railing, so it's not like you need to move down very far. It's more of just like the concept that you're still levitating, but you're still moving. As though your movement is still kind of limited. I'll say because you understand the
ground, so.
Well, just drop the spell. Sure, we'll say you can keep the spell running whilst you're walking.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense. Cool. So you still have 25 feet of movement at this point.
Okay. Yeah. So I move through, and
you see these vines receding into the room that sort of just again there's like maybe half a dozen to a dozen of them just slathering down the hallway.
Okay, so I'll go through there.
15, 20, you see there's two of these things just sort of there. You step over or like over the straddle the body of this dead druid.
Yep, and I will aim a booming blade at the freakish thing that's just around the corner from me. Like
which one would you like to?
The one nearest to me, the pink one.
Okay, pink. Yeah. Okay, go ahead and make an attack roll.
Yeah, I'll drop my bow and pull my short sword out with my free action and booming blade.
Yeah, so your bow does hit the floor. It's now in that room.
Yeah, sure.
15 will definitely hit. So as you swing and you manage to catch it, and again the sort of coating layer of thunder wraps around its vines. You kind of see it vibrating ever so slightly. It takes the 9 damage now. We'll take the other stuff if it moves.
Okay. Fine. And then I'll disengage for my bonus action and just come back and then head down this way, however much further I can go.
So you go about 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You can only get to there, unfortunately.
That's fine.
Yeah,
fine. Okay.
Yeah, because you've disengaged, so again, you only have the 30. You are 30 feet, not 35.
30 feet, yeah.
Yeah, so... That's what you can get to.
Cool.
Okay, Rain, you're up. You can kind of see as your allies dart into that room. You again. That's all you've really got a visual of. Besides downstairs, you saw after taking the shot, you saw Guzza kind of cleaving through these things, just tearing them to pieces before disappearing away. What would you like to do?
Well, shit. Everyone's disappeared. I'm not quite sure what I should be doing. I will. I guess I'll head back downstairs. I mean, everyone's sort of like got it up here. Take me down the stairs.
Okay, so back down.
Yeah, back down the
5,
stairs.
10, 15, okay, 20 down to there. Again, I moved you for
back
ease
down
of purpose.
here.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll start making my way towards the right where everyone else seemed to be disappearing to.
Cool. Well, I mean, they've the two. You've seen Zadie and Rhea go off to the top side to the west. You've seen. I mean, back where you were to the west along that walkway. That's why you can see them.
Yeah.
So in terms of where you've seen the others disappear, you've seen Trundle disappear through the doors right next to you. You've seen Guzza disappear through the doors to the east of this room. You've basically seen everyone go everywhere. It's kind of like everything quite spread out. So it's up to you where you'd like to go.
I think I'm gonna go on more to the right and keep going to the right and go down. I think.
Okay, so you've
But
used...
that's all my movement for now.
Yeah, that's all your movement, but you still have an action
Yeah.
if you want to dash.
I will hold an action until someone hostile comes near me,
And then take an attack. Okay, cool.
and then blow their brains out.
Alright, well, it is now the Vine Blight's turns. Now, they're not particularly fast, as you kind of see as they sluggishly kind of unravel and move. The pink one will take the extra 3 thunder damage as it doesn't understand what's going on, and the thunder kind of wreaths and snaps around it, and it you know, triggers around it. However, this one is going to wreath out, and, I mean, effectively just move down the hallway. This one's going to go for you, Zadie, as, again, they don't really have any real level of intelligence. In fact, no, this one, I take it back. This one, they're all happening at the same time. One of them, for ease of purpose, because they have range of 10 feet, is going to use its Entangling Plants ability, which I will just click in. You guys can have a read. So in the area where you guys are, in that 15-foot radius, so effectively 15 foot down each hallway, these vines, again, similar to Entangle, start to wreath around and wrap around you. It's just picking you two, because you two are the only things it can see. So I need you both to make strength saving throws, please. As vines, again, similarly to before, start to wrap around you.
Sorry, is that me, did you say?
Yes, you and Zadie. Zadie, you succeed,
Okay.
so again, they do not manage to wrap around you. However, it's still difficult terrain. Okay, you both make it, no problem. I will just mark the area for reference. Mark it with some dark green. There we go. For ease of purpose, it's like it does extend. It would extend further, but they didn't pick down the hallway. They just picked near you guys. So effectively, it kind of extends a little bit further down the hallway where you both are, about 15 feet or so. But that's where it happens. It doesn't affect you in terms of the restrain. However, the other one still going to try and constrict. I will roll a dice for this one to see which one it picks. 1 is Rhea, 2 is Zadie. Rhea is going to try and constrict you.
Of course it is.
So the constrict coming in from pink. That's a 6 to hit. So again, when the rolls matter, they do not connect, and it sort of starts to wreath around you. But as you're still breaking out of the other vines, you kind of just roll and move out the way as you're floating somewhat, and the vines just don't quite connect to you as they otherwise could. That is their turns. They are unable to really do anything. So Trundle, you're up. What would you like to do?
I would like to turn around and barrel into the room just 2 squares up on the right and attack the residing druid, I believe. Is this the druid?
There's a druid, yes. It's the
I just can't see the thing anymore.
Yeah, the female druid sort of sees you again in her beaten up form, having tried to thunder wave you away with no success. She's pretty badly hurt. As you rush at her, what would you like to do?
I will make an attack with both of my.
Okay, so action, bonus action. Go ahead and make the 2 attacks as you slam into them. 12 is actually good enough, and they had 7 hit points. So effectively, the first hit, but in your kind of savage sort of moment, you just tear into them once, and as their body starts to fall, the other claw catches them and throws them back into the room a bit, their body kind of falling limply off of your claws. I believe you even had your frost going, so it'd be even kind of icing them up as that happens, and you kind of see as their body and the blood just starts to freeze on your claws, leaving this kind of this almost like reddish blue mist rising off the hands. They are fucking dead, so kudos as they slam to the ground. You still have some movement as you tear into them.
When I do use my I get like an unarmed strike kind of thing that happens at some point.
Well,
that's when I use
that's
the bonus action.
Yeah, that's effectively what you would have rolled there, because at the moment you don't have extra attack. Next level, you'll have attack, bonus action attack. Right now it's attack,
Cool,
bonus
gotcha.
action attack. Yeah.
Gotcha.
But it's as long as you use a claw during the attack, you can use one as a bonus action. So
Awesome, great.
for ease of purpose, because the fact you rolled a 7, it's not going to hit anything. So if you want to still move, though, you can still move.
Absolutely. I'm gonna move. I'm gonna try and move through the tangled, growthy things. I don't know if that's like all over the floor and stuff,
It
or
is.
if it's just on.
It's all around the area. Effectively, you'd only be able to move up to where Rhea is. You can't.
Can I get creative and attempt to like leap or something over it, or how?
You know what? Sure.
well-
Yeah. Go. I mean, you kind of jump over Rhea, so there is a chance you just kind of collide with her. Go ahead, and make an athletics check, which you have advantage on.
advantage. Yeah, that's the idea.
Can I make a deck save to duck if he screws this?
Sorry in advantage. That means you say it twice, and Sophie takes the better option.
I always take the better option.
Okay, 18's pretty good. Yeah, Rare, just go ahead and make a deck save because you suggested it. Let's see.
Oh, damn you.
Shouldn't have
A
suggested
saving throw. A saving throw.
Yeah, saving
Or just...
throw.
Yeah, okay. Oh, this is where I just...
Okay, yeah, you're fine. I'll say with your remaining movement, as you stop, tear into this thing, and then you can kind of see the vines of these other creatures moving forward. You're able to just like lunge yourself and land over on the other side of Rare, using all your movement, but getting yourself in the thick of it, where these two things are, which previously were kind of choking you, have created this viney area and are now kind of twisting and trying to assail your friends. That's your turn, but you did fucking murder the druid, so kudos. It is now the Twigblight's turns. Unfortunately for you, Rain, 4 of these things start to pour out, and as you're the only target, you do get a shot on one as it arrives. And you will just have range on it. As you hear the scratching in the barrel, you see as it starts to come out. So go ahead and make an attack roll. Might save me having to put it on the map.
Bang.
13 is good enough, I believe. Yep, that is their AC, and 14 damage is going to nuke one of them, so I'll just delete it right off the map. However, the other 3 are going to, as there's no other threat down here, are going to all make their way towards you, and surrounding you are going to make 3 attacks. So the Twig Blights, 1, that's a 7 to hit, that's not going to hit. That's a 5 to hit, that's not going to hit.
Nope.
Well, sometimes they need to roll like shit, so that's, it seems, Guzza, you are the damage magnet, but you seem to be doing fine right now after healing yourself right up and getting out of there. However,
hey, I let the gods decide my healing.
Yeah,
I was on it.
Fair enough, but they all tumble their way out towards you.
Favor, I think.
Yeah, right. So it is now the druid's turns. That druid's dead, so they can go off the initiative order. The other druid next to Arena, seeing the situation and snarling, is going to... Oh, this is a tough one, because... Yeah, in their situation, they see you coming up the stairs behind, but they can't get a good angle on this. So, I mean, technically there's like kind of like meta knowledge of how they would cast a spell, but I don't think in the moment they would do that. So this druid, seeing you kind of tumbling up, is going to try and Thunderwave Arena back. Not actually reaching you. It's 15 foot from them. So although they technically could like get an angle where they get both of you, they're not thinking of that in the moment. They're taking damage. So they're just going to cast Thunderwave. It's going to kill Arena inevitably. Oh, get light. It would save you guys a lot of trouble. So yeah, Arena's got to make a save.
Make this about you.
Don't be a dick about it. That is the DC. That is actually the DC because it's a 10 plus 2. For some reason, it's not taking in this. So she saves, only taking 6 damage. So she's on one hit point. Yeah.
I was going to say that's about roughly a healing potion, isn't it?
Which she drank last session.
Totally, yeah.
She drank a 6-point healing potion last session.
Exactly.
So as this guy slams the staff down and the thunder echoes out, you see Arena kind of blasted back against the wall, but she stays her ground with her rapier drawn. Like Guzza, you can see that she's kind of almost steaming slightly from her hair, and you can see that she's shaking, but she stands her ground. And the druid, in their infinite sort of madness, is going to just push through the door to their side, and she's gonna get an AO on them as they move. So she's gonna swing.
Pull your weight. Whoa!
She did a thing.
Pull your weight.
Asking you shall receive. As the person darts through the door, she manages to sort of lunge, and thanks to the almost the thunderous energy that's wreathed around her, she uses that to almost shove the momentum back into them and sends them cascading down the hallway. Because you can hear them grunt and as they move away still, but you can see as she draws her blade back that there's blood dripping from it pretty heavily, and that'll be that druid's turn. It is now Arena's turn. Arena, however, after that sort of action, is going to sort of slump to the ground, or at least she's about to, until she sort of points out to you, Guzza, that she's going to sort of point down into the pit below the crane where the carriage is, and you can kind of hear the sound of twisting and snapping slightly, and she's like, "There's more of these things. The the ones fire-hitting things. And she's going to move back and move through the doorway to one side, like the back into the main section. You do see her step through, and she's going to keep the door open. So as she does that, that'll be her turn. But you can definitely hear this happening. So Guzza, it's up to you. You see her move down one doorway. The druid move through the next doorway down, and you can hear the kind of moving of twig creatures beneath the crane. But you don't have any visual.
No, I'm just going to follow Irina at this point. So 5, 10, 15.
So Irina's there, sort of just catching herself. She looks beaten up to shit. The door beyond her also does lie open, so if you bear with me. That door lies open as well, and that's where you saw the druid head in and Irina sort of thrust.
Yeah, I'll move towards there then.
20. So yeah.
25, 30?
Yep. So they're kind of moving their way, trying to get through the doorway. They see you coming, but you're unable to make it up to them in this turn. However,
doesn't matter, because I'm going to do a thing which never fucking works. And I'm going to use Nature's Wrath.
Yep. Channel Divinity. So as you bring your hands together, the vines and whatnot start to wreath out around this creature. What is the DC for the saving throw?
I think 130. I'm not sure why, but
they've got they've got a plus 129 to the save.
Shit. 13. Sadly,
13 Dex or Strength. They'll go with Dex because that's one better. That's a 4.
It worked.
Fails.
Nature's Wrath.
So as you bring your hands together again, vines start to wrap out, and the druid looks kind of confused. Sort of you hear them say something that you don't understand. It's a language you just don't understand. However. Looking down as the vines rise, they look almost quizzically at them before they see your hand sort of pulling the vines together, and they wrap around them, and cause them to sort of just clutch tightly this staff in their hand. That's what I'm looking for. Thank you. The grabby hand. They're pinned in place at this point in time. Don't look too good. Very nice. So that's your turn.
Is that my turn? I know. I did actually want to say what Sean just said.
I can't see it. So
you can't see it.
Nah.
You ain't the only ones around here that controlling vans.
Yeah. All right. Very nice. Zadie, you're up. Ray, you're up next. These vine-like creatures are sort of in between all of you. It's this weird mess. What would you like to do?
I am going to reach out to the one right in front of me and cast Inflict Wounds, because I haven't done that before and it sounds fun.
Okay.
It's pretty good.
All right. Go ahead and make the attack roll, please.
All
right.
Choo choo!
Yeah, well, okay.
It is wounded.
It's dead. 19, as 19's good enough to hit, and it had 14 hit points left. So as you place your hand out, this one having already been damaged by Rhea's booming blade, its form starts to wither and die away from the point at which you touch it, as this sort of necrotic energy leaves you. Again, kind of juxtaposing your like angelic nature, the dark energy kind of hits it and just starts to peel away. A bit like, spoiler alert for Infinity War, when they all die. When they all die, it starts peeling away rather than turning to ash and just falling apart, and the vines end up in a clump on the floor in amongst all these other vines that they created and just stay there for, I think, a minute. So the vines that are on the floor still exist, creating difficult terrain, but this one crumples and dies. Very nice.
Cool. And then with my bonus action, I'm going to whop the other one with my spiritual weapon.
Yeah, you can fucking do that. Go ahead and make the spiritual weapon attack as the Sunburst Mace. It's fucking crazy damage roll, dude. Badass. Yeah, this thing just comes down and clomps the one behind. It's completely unawares. And it's still standing, but it takes a decent beating from your spiritual weapon as the Sunburst Mace kind of causes it to shrivel and shrink slightly, throwing like a bundle of vines off into the rest of the room. Would you like to do anything else? You have some movement.
No, I think I'm good.
Okay, all right.
Is Trundle injured?
Yeah, Trundle's relatively beat up.
Okay.
I can take a punch.
He's got like sort of these dark red marks across his exposed skin where it looks like some of these vines have constricted around him and kind of cut his skin somewhat. But as he's in his hybrid form, he is quite hardy in that way. Cool. Rhea, you're up. Rain, you're up next.
Is there a way for me to reach around to to get to the Vinefly that's standing in the doorway with Trundle standing where he is?
I'll say
you'll have to reach around Trundle, yeah.
I'll say because of the sheer nature of what's going on.
Yeah.
Actually, well, you've still got levitate. Wait, have you taken damage? You haven't even taken damage, have you?
I have not, no.
Okay, so you're fine. Yeah, you still have levitate, so effectively you'll be able to kind of get up and around a little bit better, so I'll say sure. Otherwise, I'd say it may be like a half cover kind of scenario, but...
I'll use like 15 feet of my movement to sort of position myself like over the door.
You're kind of fine actually. You're able to kind of float away from the difficult terrain. So I'll say it'll take 10 feet of movement to reach there and stab and come back, but otherwise you're fine.
Yeah.
So go ahead and make your
then
attack.
I'll make another booming blade attack.
17 will hit, and you
do I get sneak attack?
You do. You have an ally in range who's not incapacitated. He did just land.
That's
Okay, well, it takes
still out
12 points of damage as you slice into it, and is again wreathed in thunder, but again, not taking that damage until it moves. What would you like to do with the rest of your turn?
I'll sort of swivel myself, like spider climb myself back down onto solid ground and move back out of the difficult terrain. Well,
okay. If you don't disengage, it's gonna get an AO on you. Unlike before.
Disengage. Have I got enough movement left to get there? Sorry.
You would be able to make it there and disengage, but I won't remind you in the future, and it will get the AO. Okay, but this time it won't. So yeah, you move back again, just because the angle, the vines are already kind of reaching out, but you're able to sort of shimmy yourself back and get to there with all your movement, so on ground, just outside of the vines that have erupted. Okay. Rain, you're up. Trundle, you're up next.
Okay, I'm gonna stroll a couple of feet away from these things so I can shoot at them.
They're gonna get 3 AOs on you.
Yeah, give me some AOs.
Alright, crit, let's go, baby! That's the wrong
times.
one. That's the right one. 1, crit!
That's one.
Just one.
Okay, well,
one hit.
6 damage.
6 damage. I was really after the first one. I was like, no, yeah. So one of them reaches out and just stabs into your legs as you shift away. Again, puncturing a few holes and slowing you down ever so slightly. The other two just swipe at the air, but they seem almost mechanical, almost robotic in the way that they move. That they're just too slow to get you as you sort of shift yourself away.
Right, I'm gonna burn 1 grip point to Deadeye to get advantage on my first shot against one of the creatures.
Okay, go ahead and make your attack with advantage.
Click advantage.
Oh god, this is where you should This is where you just get like all your grip points back. You should be killing.
Yep, and that's a grip point back after it blows to bits, and then I will make another attack. I'm going to use my action, spur my action surge, to take another attack, and also Deadeye this one.
Yep.
Oh, mercy.
Oh no, 5 damage though on that one.
That's enough. It kills.
I know your pain. Oh, nice.
These things are not tough. So yeah, you regain grip points. Might have to balance. Might have to nerf the shit out of that. No, I'm kidding. It's fine. So you regain your grip points as you just bam, taking the time to line up these shots. Very nice. So you take the shots.
Blood off a little.
Anything else as you sort of swivel out, take out the additional action with your action surge, and anything else?
I've used, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll just use 2 more movement. 5, 6. There we go.
All right. So you make your way all the way over there. Okay. Trundle, you're up. What you like to do, son?
I would like to attempt at least to maul the creature in front of me.
That is something you can attempt. So go ahead and make the attack roll as this thing again looks pretty badly beaten up. I mean, you don't have advantage on the attack roll,
Oh shit! I didn't realize I was on.
But
advantage.
you rolled 14 on both of them,
Yeah.
so you're okay.
Oh,
Interesting.
You had advantage from the athletics checks. You just left it on. It's fine. You cut this thing into pieces. How do you kill this thing? It's effectively a sort of a vines formed into the shape of a person, and you're just ripping through it. How does it die?
I'd love to just keep tearing away at it until I get to like a little bit of a core, and then just take that hand and plunge it up through the middle and just kind of rip it into like to 4 or 5 just shreds.
Beautiful.
How many claws I kind of have?
5, I guess. Opposable thumbs. So as you're tearing into it again, it's sort of standing over the body of its fallen kind of druid comrade, and as you start tearing into it, you almost find yourself hitting the flesh beneath. As you're tearing through the sides, there is this, like you said, there is actually kind of a core to these things. It's not like a defined like thicker branch or anything, but a bundle of some of these vines, and you just bring your hand up and just tear through it, keeping one hand to almost restrain them, keep them in place, as the other one just rinses through them and slices them into pieces. The vines fall, and there's just this huge pile of vines everywhere, kind of surrounding you and everything, but it is dead. The thunder energy kind of dissipates from it, and you're left with this bundle of vines. I don't actually know how it's treated. Let me just check something quickly. Within way after 1 minute, so the area is still viney. The kind of green area is still difficult terrain, but the 2 creatures that are there are dead. You look around, you see your 2 allies, and no enemies in your near vicinity. However, you can hear the sound of shots being fired in the central area, the door to your south.
Right. And so I'm getting a little bit again confused with the map. So I'm in a corridor, or is it more like a balcony kind of thing?
This is a corridor. There's a door that's open that leads to the balcony there, through all the vines and whatnot.
Gotcha.
Again, it kind of should be a little bit confusing because you came up through a different route.
Fair enough. Yeah.
But you can see through to the room that you were in before, which is.
I did see that druid come through the door there, looking pretty beaten up. So I'm assuming. I think it would be sensible for me to assume that there's things behind that door. So I'm going to attempt to get through the tough terrain.
Well, and you can hear gunshots. That's another thing.
There's that too.
Yeah, so that's about 20 feet of movement to get to there. You see downstairs, about like almost directly beneath the edge of the balcony, you can see Rain standing there taking shots at these bundles of twigs that are like pouring out of this barrel to the southwest. But you don't have a good angle on the barrel because there's another one in the way.
Right.
You still have 10 feet of movement, so you could make it one set of stairs down, to the edge of the.
I will do.
Okay, cool. So you make it to there, effectively. Yeah, to there, effectively, because it's difficult terrain. But you're at the edge. Yeah, but you're at the edge of it, and ready to kind of move out of it next turn. So now the twig blights. So now 5 of them come pouring out. Yeah, boy. Let me check something. Interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When you stack enough of them on the GM layer, they kind of merge and almost look like they're just on the normal layer. It's kind of cool. So they're going to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. And then these ones going to do the same thing. They can't even make it up to you. And that one is going to go up there. In fact, it's going to go up. It can't even reach you. I think one of them could have made it there. The one that's still on the screen is going to go 5, 10, 15, 20. Can't make it to you. So it's going to, effectively, Rain, you find yourself surrounded by these things. However, due to the fact they're not all that fast, none of them can attack you this turn. So they all kind of bundle in around you, blocking off your exits, and behind you, the double doors that are behind you are kind of chained shut from this inside. There's a big padlock and some chains. The door to the 10, 15 feet to the east of that, this one here, is also barricaded. These doors, however, are kind of busted open and seem to lead outside. You can kind of feel the draft coming in. You can see the kind of gloomy light a little bit better in there. So, but it's not your turn yet. Anyway, that's what they do. They rush you. There's no one else around. This druid is now in pretty bad shape and is restrained. So, doing what they do best, in their desperation, are going to cast Thunder Wave at 2nd level, just at you, Guzza, just to try and blow you as far away as possible. It's kind of a desperation play.
Blow him away.
So using one of the 3-second levels. What are these damage rolls, man? That's insane. That's a 3d8, 7 damage for the second time. Dice are broken, man. Oh well. So go ahead and make a DC 12 con save as they put their hands together and blast backwards. That's a definite fail. However, you only take 7 thunder damage rather than anything, reasonable. And you get knocked back 10 feet towards the edge of this crane entrance into the down to the cart. However, again, you managed to get your balance again, and you see Arena there just sort of huffing and panting. The druid, however, is sort of still fighting the vines that are wreathing around it, and isn't going to be able to make any attempt to escape. But they just keep this thing pointed at you. Arena at this point, I mean, she's torn to shit, and she has no ranged attack, so she is going to effectively, and she's used her 1 potion, so she's going to sit this one out at this point. She's going to take the dodge action effectively.
Thanks, Arena. I mean, that's a hit point and I'm taking damage, but cheers, love.
She has 1 hit point, so... Yeah.
She made it about herself.
Of course she did. It's your turn, Howard Guzza. Zadie, you're up next.
Oh, yes it is. Yeah, I'm going to walk back into the room.
Okay. Make
slow talking to myself.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
You have advantage in the attack, so they're restrained. So Thunderwave didn't do shit to change that, so they are restrained. You got advantage. They're pretty beat up already.
Does that do it?
Can't see.
Does it not come for you guys yet?
Come through yet.
You'll see soon. Don't worry.
That sounds confident. Yeah, I mean, that they had
just a little dead, maybe.
Go ahead and just roll go ahead and roll a duck of lice roll, please. Just a d20. Okay. All right. So as this druid is sort of like looking at you, again, there's like a very faint level of fear in their eyes, but it's kind of mixed with this level of just insanity that's beyond. It's almost like they don't care as they have this staff extended out towards you. You take your time, slowly, methodically making your way towards them, muttering to yourself, and just bringing the scythe up. How do you fucking completely finish them?
I mean, as you always say, I'll be like, do it for the vine, and then just slice. Slice, just yeah.
R.I.P. Vine.
I think.
Yeah. So they're being kind of held in place. They're kind of thrashing about a bit, but still got this manic grin twisted across their face. The scythe comes up and comes down, and from their 6 hit points, you do 24. And the scythe cleaving through them so heavily and cleanly, also connects, thanks to your Duck of Lice roll, with the staff that they have held out in front of them as they're knocked back slightly from the impact, shattering it in half, and you hear this horrible, twisted, gnarling, bursting, almost scream, this writhing, massive screaming coming from the... But it's not like a human scream. It's more of just like an indescribable pain, almost, rippling out from this staff. It causes you to have to restrain back for a while, and you would close your eyes if only for the fact that you were focused on just tearing this person in two. And as the scythe sort of drives further into them and the staff shatters, you all hear this horrible, high-pitched, again, scream-esque sound that just echoes outwards. And Rain, around you, you see as these beings all just suddenly just twist back. They turn their heads to the sky, and their bodies just kind of bend backwards unnaturally and twist and fall still. As from the sheer impact of the attack, from a 24 damage Great Weapon Master attack, destroying the staff also causes all of these things to burst into non-existence and fall silent. And for all intents and purposes, you guys are now out of combat. As you tear through all these things, you hear this horrible screeching coming from outside as well. And Zadie, you're able to see through the window that you stand at as you hear the sound, and it draws your attention. You can't, and it's glass. Oh my god! You can't see anything. Okay, never mind. However, Rain, you see as these beings kind of twist and burst. You hear what sounds like a small explosion to the eastern end of the room, and the area falls oddly quiet. I will stop the music because it's fallen quiet. And that druid is like so dead, still held in place by the vines. But
beautiful.
Just
do I not cut through the vines? Or do
they're your strong, powerful vines. It's your discretion.
Spectral,
but you impact into them, and although it forces the body down, the vines continue to just wreath around them.
Or they leave and come back as the blade goes down. Just click, 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 click.
Very nice. The body's like held there in almost suspended animation, just blood just pouring down the front from where this enormous wound has been opened up, and the staff that's sort of splintered out in front of you. You see this kind of this faint energy, this like dark, almost necrotic energy, just dissipate from it. This darkness from within just puffs out and goes quiet, and with it the sound draws to a nothingness, and you're left in this quiet, almost silence, just the sound of wind pushing through the area. So,
is there anything left of this stuff other than just sweet, sweet victory on my lips?
Just some sweet, sweet victory, I'm afraid. The staff here, it was like almost like a bundle of sticks that are together, but has been, from your impact, has been shattered. However, well, you don't have a direct understanding yet, but
no, definitely not.
But you're very aware that when you hit it and broke it, something happened. At this point, guys, what would you like to do?
I'm clapping. I'm just sitting in the middle of the room clapping, surrounded by twigs.
I'm left alone in this corridor. I'm going to come just like running through.
Yeah, and the vines
crash into the.
Alongside the screaming, the vines in that area, as the three of you are standing there, Trundle, you see all of them burst. Zadie and Ray, unfortunately, you don't. But the vines that were creating the difficult terrain also kind of curl up and just wither and die, similar to the entangle that was dispelled downstairs.
Okay.
How big are the barrels?
These barrels are pretty large. They are like 10 foot by 10 foot width, and height-wise they're about 15 feet high. So the top of the barrel is kind of at the level of the walkway, and you can see that at the top of them there's a kind of a small opening that would open. It's not massively open, but does open indirectly to the wine. You can kind of get a faint smell of it from where you are, especially with your senses. Well, there's no.
I don't.
Yeah, I mean, you could. It's not big enough, but you could definitely try.
No, I'll just make my way downstairs.
Okay, and you see again. You reunite with Rain downstairs, who's sort of standing there, just surrounded by busted ass twigs, I see that, Harry.
I was just seeing if just walking around a bit, just seeing if I can see things.
You totally can.
Thanks, buddy.
I will remove that doorway as you move in as well.
Oh, thank you. Sorry. If it was locked, I apologise.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. It's all good. It was just they were about to open it, but. You
fuck they were.
Well, now they ain't. But you kind of push past the vines as the vines kind of just move the body to the side slightly, and again you find yourself stepping into what looks like almost like a dining room, like a kitchen. It's pretty basic, and the foods in here are not. It looks like it's kind of been roughly tossed about for supplies and whatnot. But again, it's a table of 8, and you see a door both to the southwest corner and to the east. Meanwhile, sorry, the rest of you as well. Rain and Trundle, you reunite on the ground floor. Zadie and Rhea, you're sort of up at the hallway. You see Trundle make his way downstairs, still in hybrid form, but again, more like aware of his senses than you've ever seen before. Very much sort of in control and just going downstairs, sort of heading back down. What do you guys like to do?
Are we good? Are we good?
I'll shout, everyone okay? Anyone need healing? What happened? Did someone die?
We see Arena from across the way.
Yeah, you can see her slumped there. She kind of you see her having sort of reacted to the scream that burst out. She was relatively close to the proximity of this thing, but she just kind of just gives a hand, which you can see is slightly coated in blood. But she's just gives you that acknowledgement that she's alive at least.
You're good?
Oh.
I'm going to walk towards the scream. I don't know which direction it is on the map.
For you, it's effectively upstairs. So, for ease of purpose, it would be up these stairs, up and around this way.
I'd like to follow him. If
Oh,
that's
Sure.
allowed.
So you guys
I'm
go
gonna
back
start walking
upstairs.
around.
Yeah.
Back up the stairs.
And Guzza, as you move through the doorway in the hallway, you see there's some of the hallway is charred and burnt almost from what looks like, again, and cracked slightly from this thunderous energy. But you can see very quickly these kind of piles of dead vines, a couple of dead individuals that look like they've been torn apart by all manner of things, mainly kind of claws and a spiky halo mace that dissipates. Zadine. You've been running for about 5 rounds, so it fades
Are the
off.
crows still hanging about?
The crows have kind of moved about, and they're not bunched as the picture would suggest. But yeah, they're still lurking about. The scream kind of seemed to cause them to startle, but they've kind of resettled along these railings and up, like sort of almost on like a small stone plinth at the top of the wall, of the ceiling of this place.
If one lands near me on the railing as I walk past, I'm going to turn to it and say, "If you are a person in disguise, then we fuck you for not helping," and carry on walking.
Sure. They hop about a bit, all of them. They're all separately moving, but they don't respond. Apart from the occasional kind of core just generally coming from them. Cool. And
If everyone who needs healing would like to come and stand within 30 feet of me, that would be great.
Hi, I'm within 30 feet of you.
Hi. Anyone else?
You saying that
Yeah,
aloud?
me. Trundle would love some healing.
If I know what you're doing, I'll go and
Closer.
help Arena up and bring her over.
yeah, she accepts your help gladly and gets herself up. Again, you see
Come on,
her.
you.
She looks in a pretty bad way. But she
Good job.
Thank you. These things were crazy, but are you sure we're okay? Nothing else?
I think so. I think that scream was a good thing for us.
She smiles weakly and just kind of goes with you. And again, she'll move along.
Yeah.
So, as you're all up on the top, again, Rain, you see Rhea and Arena sort of come back from that direction. And Guzza, weirdly enough, comes from the other direction, having, unbeknownst to everyone else, done a loop, in a way. So, as you all congregate...
Is everyone within 30 feet of me?
Right now, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so this will take a moment, but I'm going to do Prayer of Healing if everyone's okay with that.
Yeah.
What's this accent?
Sorry.
Oh no. See?
No,
accent.
it's alright.
No love.
Yeah,
Wow.
see, that's what you get for not giving an accent.
But it's also +4 because of my perceptive light thing.
Of course it is. I mean, it's your,
That's
it's like
super cool.
it's your thing. It's crazy. Yeah, it's really worth it.
Suddenly everything's okay again.
Totally. I mean, let me just have a look at that.
That's amazing. Your healing is cool.
Yeah. Life, Claire.
I do.
God, the dice rolls
you
are so
so
confusing.
much.
It's 3 + 2 - 2 × 1. Oh yeah, it's doing the level minus the level of the spell. Yeah, okay, that makes total sense.
Cool.
So yeah, you got Wait, that must have rolled terribly. You sure that's including everything?
1-1.
Oh, 1 and 1, right. I can see the 1 I saw a 3. Yeah, okay. So, yeah. Min heal, but still 9 healing as you all rest up again in that space. And you're able to target everyone. Everyone who needs healing for 9 hit points or more receives 9 hit points of healing as you're all sort of waiting around.
I'm good.
Again, you see a bit of life restore to Trundle. However, over the 10 minutes, your hybrid form does fade towards the end of it if you don't choose to end it of your own accord prior to that, and you see as Trundle again shifts slightly back into his human form, and although the wounds that he'd received are healing up thanks to the spell, there's still kind of these marks that are left over that are almost look like they've faded into distant, like things that happened a long time ago already, just from the way the sort of shape-shifting works is very wibbly wobbly, shall we say, and leaves you with these kind of these rope-like wraps around your upper body, where the second one managed to catch you and cause a fair bit of damage. But you're all sort of reinstated with health, and 10 minutes pass. All sort of effects that last 10 minutes, you'll levitate and so on. If you haven't already ended it, fade as well. But the healing goes off without an effect. You're left in this space with relative silence, besides the sound of these ravens occasionally cawing and flapping and flying away. But the healing goes off without a hitch. What would you like to do?
I don't know about you guys. Sorry, go on.
Nice, okay, go on.
So, I'm going to go check out our druid friends, and I'm going to wander off where there's at least one dead one.
One thing about that, and then I'll explain what happened to my one, and be like, now I ain't sure what happened, but after a certain vinizing of my hands here, it weren't too living too much longer, and that staff of it's ain't one no more. But you're welcome to go looking for it, and I explain where she can find it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cool. I'll follow Ray around doing like last rites on the human corpses.
Sure.
Also,
I
will
rob
take
you,
blood
right?
from one of them and put it in a vial.
Oh no. Okay. Well, well, interestingly, you don't have a phlebotomy kit. That was
No, I'm doing it really like I'm literally just hacking a piece of flesh off and squeezing it into a vial.
Alrighty.
Flesh and squeeze.
Okay. All right. I mean, Ray, you do witness this pretty early on as you go in to take the last rites of the one druid in here. This one has actually not sustained too much damage. His head was caved in, but besides that, the body is relatively intact. You sort of perform the last rites and then go to tear at it. Go ahead and just. I'll say this is like a medicine check with disadvantage, and you don't get any. Even if you're proficient in medicine, you don't fucking get it. This is like savagery. Effectively, it's like just a wisdom check with disadvantage.
Okay, I mean, I'm just trying to get blood into a bottle.
I get that, but you don't have any tools to do this, so you're using a mace to bludgeon their body to the point at which, or bludgeon some portion of their body at which you can wring blood out of it. You understand how this is not like... This is not something you're proficient in.
I'll use one of my crossbow bolts. I can see them bleed. I just want to dunk a bottle in a wound.
Sure.
Like...
Yeah, I mean, in order to like get like a decent amount, fine. We'll just like it's still a medicine. I'll say a medicine check with disadvantage. There's no two ways around that. Like you know, you don't have the tools that Richter did to do what he did, but you can still attempt it. Like,
oh, is this about Richter? Oh, okay.
Richter's someone who extracted blood previously with a phlebotomy kit that he was proficient in. So okay, yeah, you're using the tools at your disposal and with your knowledge of medicine, you're able to extract a relatively clear blood sample. There's still small bits of flesh in there, but you know you'd be able to kind of.
I have no concept of how pure he was keeping it. I just knew he put blood in bottles.
Sure. Well, as it happens, you're able to get a relatively like flesh-free sample of blood. Yeah. It's not perfect. It's not perfect, and it is just blood from a human.
Okay, I will add that to my werewolf file. And
cool.
While she's doing that, I will check the body, and then I'm basically going to loot the room.
Yeah. Loot the room.
Everything.
Hey, we're playing Munchkin, guys. Cool. So, yeah, I mean, looking around this room, let me just have a quick look. This is okay. Interestingly, in this room, because you didn't really get to see it before, as there were kind of viney things covering everything and then attacking you. This is effectively a strange. There's like this weird contraption in the northern end of the room, that it's hard to explain exactly what it is. Go ahead and just make a. This would just be a kind of a straight intelligence check. I'll say you could roll history if you like.
For all the difference that will make, I'll just make straight intelligence check.
Sure.
Oh!
Way!
Well,
yeah, it's
an odd thing to have this on, but
it's pretty clear what this is. This is what you would call a printing press. I know you as Sophie and the rest of you all know what a printing press is, but for you, although books are a thing and they're not all handwritten, they are printed in the Forgotten Realms. It's not something you'd have seen day to day. Like you would have seen printed materials, you would have seen printed kind of hard copy newspapers from time to time, but they wouldn't be daily. They'd be more of like a monthly kind of thing or whatnot in the larger cities. However, yeah, this is a printing press, and there's no actual materials in it besides the actual press itself. But beyond that, I mean, you understand immediately what it is. For someone else, it might not be as clear, but for you, you know what this is. Additionally, in the room, there is a cabinet on I think basically where you're standing, on the eastern side of the room. You can see it there. And inside, It's a glass cabinet. You can kind of see just hanging through one of the windows is a key on a just a small loop of string, unlabeled, but just hanging there.
Can I open it and get the key?
Sure. As you open the door, it opens and you take the key. Sorry, it's always fun to do from time to time. Yeah, so it's just a small nondescript brass key. Additionally, as you said, you want to loot the room. Rifling through the pockets of the druid, you find... weirdly enough, you don't find any like things of value. You find like a couple of small stones and like almost like a pocket that just seems to be filled with earth. But you get the sense that some of these things might be good for spell components, but they hold no material value if that's what you're looking for. And the only thing that they have that might even be remotely valuable is their staff, which is kind of lying in the doorway to the room and is just a wooden staff. There doesn't appear to be any sort of carvings or magical nature about it. It's just a staff.
Okay.
Beyond that, there's nothing exciting in this room.
Okay. Are you done doing whatever it is the hell you're doing over there, Zadie?
Yeah. Let's go do the last rats on the others, though. Is that a street rat?
Yeah, that's what we're doing. Sure. Okay. I'll
Sure.
stop moving to the next room.
Yeah, we'll expedite this process slightly. It's
Yeah,
you're going round. There are no
Basically.
enemies in the near vicinity. As you move around this floor of the winery, and again finding these other where you find the other bodies. Again, no items of material like value on their person at all. However, the one that you do find, which Guzza informed you about with this kind of broken staff, you do find it. I mean, you find that it was holding this staff that has been kind of cleaved. You can tell that it was a staff, purely because these twigs are kind of bending out of its hand, and all of the twigs kind of are of the same slightly darker wood, or at least it appears that they were darker wood, and they were kind of bundled together, kind of bound somewhat loosely. If you want to, I will say you can make an Arcana check on this one. I would say it is I would say on the verge of it, you might be able to do a nature check as well. It's kind of riding that line. But as you perform the last rites, Zadie, you're able to, do what you do.
I mean, more likely to do an Arcana check than nature. So.
Sure. What are the rest of you up to at this point in time as well?
Oh my god!
You're on it.
Sure. I mean, there's not too much to glean from this, but you can tell just from where you heard the scream, what Guz has described to you, this item, this thing, this staff was, and I'll give you a picture. I think you'll get a name with it as well, which you wouldn't have, but because it's destroyed, it doesn't matter all too much. Let me see if I can get a picture of that without giving you the full description.
I am MacGyver.
You know what? I'll just give you the full description because it's broken now. And as much as I just want to show you the picture, you're going to get the full part of it. So there you go. This is known as the Gulthias staff. This is what it looked like. Kind of had this dark energy burning off of it. For people watching, this is what it looks like. There you go. However, it's been splintered into many pieces. And again, its magical properties are long gone, dispersed as it happened. However, as the twig was snapped, it burst outwards and cleaved everything around here. Circumstances worked out really fucking well. And you rolled like an insane... If you hadn't rolled like a mega smash on that person, it would have been like, oh, it falls to the ground and you get to play around with it. You fucking cleaved them in half, and therefore the effect was triggered. And burst outwards and killed all of the twig blights around here, or the blights in this area. So, although you are not fully aware of exactly quite how that has functioned, with the understanding of that happening and seeing all these things, destroyed and getting your Rain's description of the things just bursting around him and hearing the kind of explosion from the barrel and seeing that no more are coming out of there. You get a rough idea that is what's happened here, in terms of this thing was somehow connected to them in some sort of was hive mind way, and that has caused them to wither and die, at least within a local vicinity. So yeah, the magical essence has long passed from it, by the time you get to look at it, but you get the idea of how it's functioned, which for mechanical ease of purpose, that description there has you have that description there, and that's what you've got from
Okay.
it.
So, can't believe Gaza broke it. Pretty cool.
Sorry, yeah. But I mean, it's that, or you would have been fighting till like February. So,
Really? Okay.
well, there were lots of these things still around, and that seems to have done a pretty good job at clearing everything out. So, yeah, you get the idea of what this does. Again, meanwhile, what are the rest of you up to at this point?
Well, I just want to look around at everyone, big smiles on my face. I'm incredibly elated by all of this. This has been a very joyous day for me and for everyone. And I just sort of stand out and I say, well, everybody, you're doing great. Exceptional even. I'm very pleased with you. So very pleased indeed.
You alright there, sport? You ain't usually the type for smiling and kind.
Oh, it's just such a wonderful day, purging some Barovians, making this place great again. I can't wait to return the wine and bring joy back to Krezuk.
There's nothing very fun about today. I can't even fucking drink it.
Perhaps the smell will bring your spirits up.
So y'all see
So Ian, here's my problem: is that I want to explore this house, but this dynamic lighting is driving me so insane. I deeply don't want to explore this house.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
Blindsight does this to you,
No,
okay?
I'll tell you what. I'm feeling generous for ease of purpose. This floor, you were able to explore this floor without issue. So I will just literally delete all the dynamic lighting on this floor. You should be able to see openly around the area that you guys are in.
Wow.
Yeah, dynamic lighting can be a bit claustrophobic. So effectively, you guys.
It's just all the diagonal big stripes.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't actually have that line of sight, but like, it's what ends up happening. So you explore this floor. In terms of information and things that you find. Let me have a look here.
Is that a goddamn trebuchet?
No, that is the crane above
that's
the
the crane.
Above where the cart sits. And from your understanding, having explored and looked around a bit, it seems that the barrels are kept downstairs, which Trundle would be able to tell you about as he ran through quickly. The barrels are kept downstairs, seemingly filled downstairs from these large barrels, and then rolled up because they won't fit through any other way to get to the cart, and then are lowered down using this crane. That's like, it's pretty clear. There's no like, your intelligence is 8, therefore you're like, how does this, you understand the very basics of how that would work. Not difficult. However, looking around the rest of the upstairs, I'll just go through this quickly as you look around upstairs before we take a break. You see a couple of bedrooms. Again, there's 2 bedrooms that are very similarly laid out. There are these kind of footlockers that contain what look like personal belongings, some clothes that have been, again, tossed around loosely.
I mean, I would be opening. This is someone's house. I'm not opening.
This is for. I think this is for Rhea's benefit, as she was with you going through the rooms. And again, they look.
Through everything.
Yeah, they look like they've been loosely tossed around, kind of half filled with clothes but nothing of value that you, as you kind of poke around through them. You do find that the easternmost room, the one with the dead druid in it, in fact, it looks like the bed's slightly smaller and it looks like it was for children. And you find a couple of toys scattered around the room as well. Like kind of horses and animals and whatnot. But nothing too distinct. You do see, however, I guess as you're poking around the room, you do see Blinksy's logo on, or his tag on a couple of the toys, a couple of the kind of plushier, well-made toys. You see sort of the "Is no fun, it is no Blinksy" slogan on this kind of seams of a couple of these things, but nothing of major interest. Again, there's the kitchen, the pantry has been kind of torn apart a bit. There's not too many foodstuffs that you can access, and there is a very small larder in the northeast corner, which you guys are able to look through. There's nothing, it's been largely cleared out, and from what you saw of the family outside and the fact that they had some bags with them, you imagine they probably took some shit with them before they left. The one room of interest.
I am specifically looking for whatever room was.
interest.
Yeah, which would be the master bedroom, effectively. Yeah, there's a four-poster bed. Its headboard is kind of carved in the style of this large raven. There's a very kind of soft plush black rug. It doesn't look like it's fur. It looks like it's man-made. On the floor between basically almost all the way between the door and the bed. There's a couple of wardrobes and a tapestry of a church on the southern wall, and a rocking cradle right in front of it. Beyond that, there's a desk. There's a wooden chest and a freestanding mirror in the northwest corner.
I'm just going to check the chest.
Okay. You pop the chest open, and internally you see. In fact, no, you don't. There, it is locked.
Oh, then I'll try and open it.
If only there was a weight in that 20 this roll.
Go ahead and make a thieves' tools check. I'm assuming because it's not been long, but you may have forgotten because we've had a lot of shit just unloaded. You try the key, or you look at the key that you found earlier. Doesn't fit the lock, but you can go ahead and make a thieves' tools check.
Okay. What's this? 22.
22 again.
22s in a row.
I would say 22 is good enough. It doesn't actually give a DC because there's otherwise to find how to open it. Yeah. But you do indeed maneuver it and pop it open without any real issue. It's not a particularly, it's a nicely crafted chest, but nothing overly crazy. Thanks, Harry. Yeah. Inside, it's not too big, but there is you find a couple of purses of coins within the base of the chest, but that's about all you find. I say that's all you find. Excuse me. In total, you find in these bags there's a couple of large bags that seem to contain silver, containing a total of about 350 silver. There's two slightly smaller but still sizable bags containing about 270 electrum, and there's a smaller bag near, again, it looks slightly more finely crafted, is a bag containing gold of about 50 gold pieces, all sitting there.
Okay, I'll just stare at it for a little while and just go, oh, trying to be good, and close it and go out the room really quick.
Sure. Okay, you close the chest again. It clicks back into place, but doesn't it doesn't lock or anything. And you take a few deep breaths. Yeah. Make your way out of the room, and
I almost want to do a wisdom saving throw, but no.
You can if you want, but no. You've gone for the morally high route, and you take a step back and make your way out of the room.
I will pick up the bits of the staff that Guzza destroyed and
sure. Again,
my arms. I go back round to the others.
Yeah, again, it is slightly darker wood. Still, it's quite dry and brittle. But you bundle up most of it. You can't get all of them. It was shattered by a Great Weapon Master fucking scythe smash from Guzza. But you're able to bundle up most of it as it's still sort of held in place. Again, you although you haven't used Identify, haven't used Detect Magic, because of your nat 20 on the Arcana check, I'll say you're able to, again, you get the sense that any magic that was part of this has moved beyond it. But regardless, for information or for whatever purpose you might want it, you're able to bundle it all up, wrap it up a little bit, and stash it in your bag. And as you reconvene with the others, who are, where are you guys? Just still up on the balcony where you rested?
Yeah,
I'm going to be convincing everyone to help me drag the bodies outside, because there's one in a kid's room, and that's just not okay.
And they are relatively damaged. Especially there was one that wasn't too badly damaged.
You mean the
and
kids
then
or the
you were.
bodies?
There were no kids in there, so hopefully the bodies.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. You get the sense that these bedrooms, these rooms are the rooms of the people you met outside. You met Elvir and
awful sweet. We did say we'd help, so I think we should get these bodies out of here. Just to the front yard. I mean, I ain't gonna bury bodies on their property. That might also be a bit of an imposition.
Might not be good for the wine.
Yeah.
I'm happy to help.
Okay, so as you
Digging graves is what I do. Watch out for your death lady.
So as you make your way, tidying out again to expedite this, as you clear the bodies out, take them outside, you get a look around. You can see that the winery is still out there, still spread out. You can see though that it seems to have been almost thinned out, and you can see that there are these like bundles of twigs that have collapsed where you saw previously the things that were assailing you. And as because of the way you would have moved around, you would also see that inside where that kind of interior area that's still open to outside where the cart is kept, there are bundles of twigs that have burst and died down there as well. It looks like they were actually assailing the place, but your timing was relatively fortuitous as well, of breaking the stick. So on that note, as you take the 3 bodies outside, and I will move them outside again, I'll just move them over here. See, they have been tidied up, but not yet dug any graves for them. We will take a break. We'll try not to make it too long, so we'll try and come back around 9:30. So we've got about 11 minutes to just go grab a drink at the bathroom, all that kind of thing. But we'll be right back with less combat and more RP. Yeah, or maybe some combat. We'll see. Maybe a ancient blue dragon will pitch up. We'll find out soon. Anyway, we'll be back in 10, guys. See you in a bit.
Where's it, Scythe? Yay!
we're back. Thank you. Oh my goodness, I just decided to inhale coffee, but we're all good. So let's get going. This music's way too intense. This is supposed to be chill, no fighting, ambient music. We'll go with that one. Oh, I love the song. So jumping right back into it, you guys have sort of rested up a little bit, cleared out the top floor of this space without so much of an issue, and I would say you've been able to kind of wander the downstairs as well. Again, I'm not going to give you a full reveal, a full sort of what should we call it, dynamic lighting cut, but for for all intents and purposes, moving you guys downstairs as you move about. I'll move you all into the main hall area, so you're all kind of grouped up down there.
Was the key that I found for the master bedroom, did you say?
No, it was not for the
No,
master bedroom.
I haven't found it yet. Okay.
No. However, looking around, excuse me, looking around, and with your, do you have proficiency in investigation? I know you've got a positive because
I do, yes.
You do. I say just out of a passive investigation kind of thing, you recognise as you're moving around this area that the padlock on these sliding doors here in front of you, on this lower level, the ground floor, resembles closely the same kind of brass nature of the key. The padlock itself is brass, and again, testing it out, it does become pretty clear that's what it's for as it unlocks.
Okay, I'll open it up and pull the sliding doors back then.
Sure. I mean, it opens out into an area you've already seen from the other side, in that this area is open to the outdoors. You see as you look out across what look like three, basically the bottom half of wide barrels that have been cut open, with a small set of stairs, like a ladder almost, that leads up to the area. Again, I don't think this requires an intelligence check too much. So, as approaching them, you see that the interiors are kind of stained with kind of grape juice, effectively with the precursor of wine, and it looks like this would be effectively a pressing station, where the grapes would be brought in and pressed in these three containers before being drained away underneath and stored in a larger container inside. But at the moment, they're all empty, and but you can see out across the fields, as it is right now. Excuse me. But that's effectively all that's out here. As you poke around a little bit, there's nothing that kind of stands out or anything of that nature. But what do you guys want to do? Where do you guys want to move about?
I guess I want to be looking to see if there's a cellar, another floor that we've missed.
Okay. So moving around again, I think you can already see into this room here. Probably on the wrong layer. You can see into this room here, where you can see loads of barrels and the staircase that Trundle took up, and you're able to work out where it links up to, especially having explored the upper floor without issue. You also see that again, this door that leads here, you're able to open. It's not locked, I don't believe, and if it is, you have someone who has the capabilities of picking it and probably be interested to find out what's inside. So opening it up, you find that there's effectively a station with plenty of bits of wood, some metal hoops, and again, being next to a barrel room, it indicates that this would be a room in which barrels are made. There's no sort of barrel in preparation of being made, but there's nothing of great interest here. However, you can see that the door that would lead outside, that you again came to the other side of, is barricaded from the interior, similarly to some of the other doors you found. However, again, nothing of great interest as you poke around. In Rare's case, there's nothing of interest that might be worth taking. But again, poking around there, you don't find anything of great nature. The one place you do find, or the two places you do find, three places, fuck it, are the ramp, which Irina went up and you all saw as you came in. The ramp led both up and down, correct. However, there's also a staircase in the far end of this area, which again you saw from the top floor. There is a staircase over to the western side of this floor, basically mirroring the side that you're on, but it's a staircase rather than a ramp. And in addition, there's actually a door beneath the stairway up in the main room that you all would have been able to see again during your time here, in this direction. And that door which I will open up so some of you get the dynamic lighting in there, does lead to another room which has a staircase down. I'm assuming I've selected the right thing. Oh, I selected a wall as well. Brilliant. Well, anyway, there's a door there that leads down.
I'm in one of the bats.
There you go. You can probably see over in this direction here that there is a door that leads into another kind of workshopy area, and there's a set of stairs from there that leads down.
Okay, so y'all want to go down the same stairs, or like split up into two and try two different ones?
I feel, for the sake of the DM, we should maybe stay together.
The who? I'm going in here. Going down this way. Stairs. Ooh. Are there bottles of wine on the cupboard?
They are bottles, but they're not bottles of wine. They are wine bottles, but not filled with wine. This appears to be a glass blower's workshop. There's a kind of a kiln that is sitting unused in the southwest corner. There's a worktop with all sorts of glass blowing utensils, and there are different shaped bottles that have kind of, or deformed bottles that haven't quite been created correctly along this wall. There's actually about 3 or 4 racks down as well, but none of them contain wine as you kind of look at them slightly disappointedly. There is also a door to the southeast corner that appears to lead outside, as you can kind of see fogged glass that leads beyond, which is generally the sign of like a door to the outside. However, the staircase just kind of descends down, and from the top of the stairs you can see that it goes down to a doorway that's on the left-hand side on the wall. It's quite easy to see because it's only about 15 feet down, but it is dark.
Y'all want to go downstairs?
Sure. Dark though. Can you give me a little light and I'll pull a dagger out?
Yeah, I'll cast light on her dagger.
Okay.
Can I smell anything strange coming from downstairs?
Go ahead and just make a survival check. It's survival.
Yeah.
Did that come through?
Yeah, 15's pretty reasonable. There's a lot of smells around this place. Again, there's kind of almost a smell of wet grass in this entire area, from just the sheer amount of these things that have existed in this space, these blights that have since passed on, as well as the kind of the smell of fermenting alcohol. That being said, as you're sort of near the top of the stairs and smelling around, you get the smell of that kind of wet grassy smell downstairs as well. It's a faint one, but it emanates from downstairs, just a little bit, like the smell of almost like matted wet grass. That's like it's like the lawn's been mowed and then it's rained. That kind of almost stagnant moistness, but nothing specifically distinct. No.
All right, gotcha.
And because I think you always have it's at least when you're in hybrid form, but I think it's always. You don't get the smell of any undeath, which is one of your special ones. You don't get any smell. You don't get any smell like that.
Yeah, I mean, if nothing too notable, I'll follow.
Slight retcon, I know, but just to say that in the sweep upstairs, I would have picked my short bow up.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, I figured. Yeah, I mean, although you would have been left there had the fight gone differently. Yeah, I think. Thank you for clarifying.
I just wanted to say in case it came up later.
No, I trust you. You in character would not just go like, oh, my short bow. Well, I guess I'll leave it there. Yeah. Thank you.
I'd have reloaded my gun.
Sure.
Reload my gun.
Yeah, that's again.
I ran out of bullets. I need to reload.
Yeah, I think these things are. Thank you for being clear on them, but I think these things are definitely things that you would kind of passively do after a fight. But thank you.
I'll head downstairs.
Okay. You make your way downstairs, and you're going to be moved down a layer.
Where is it? There we go.
Follow.
Cool.
I'm following as well.
Sure. I mean, again, there's not too much space down there. Effectively, you can kind of. Gaza. That's moving.
Sorry.
No, that's all right. That's all right. And again, Arena's following up as well. I'm assuming Rain and Trundle, you're coming down as well, or at least making your way there. So
Yeah.
I'll move you just to the top of the stairs. You can't actually see where they are, but effectively, as you're going down the stairs again, there's this door. It's actually a stone door, as opposed to the other doors. You imagine this is some kind of cellar space beneath the house, and again, you kind of, as you descend down, you also get this cool feeling, like the air is almost like cool beneath the house. But you come to this door.
Okay. I'll try the door. Is it locked?
It's not. No, as you sort of again use the handle, it's more like a kind of an actual handle as opposed to some of the ones upstairs, which are just brass knobs to sort of open and close the doors. You pull the handle down and it opens away from you into this dark interior. You see what look like racks of wine bottles lined up in front of you in this dark space that you kind of illuminate with your lit dagger, effectively, as you sort of peer into the room and step in ever so slightly. As you do, however, you also hear the sound of shuffling and scraping on the other side of the rack of wine bottles, and you hear this startled sort of almost gasp as there's a voice babbling away at you from behind the wine rack that you don't quite understand. But you can tell, and as you sort of catch a glimpse through the wine bottles, you see what looks like a humanoid figure with these wooden antlers like wreathed up around their head. And they sort of look, and as their eyes catch the light of the dagger, and they just snarl at you, and go, ah! And they slam a staff down. I'm gonna need you guys to roll initiative.
All right.
As this happens. You already ended up on the
I've
initiative.
had
Very
another
nice.
22 there.
Nope. Wait, where did all of the people go?
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to
Oh,
roll.
fuck, I
I
didn't
did
have
my
advantage as
character.
That's
Did not
fine.
need to do it with
Initiative.
advantage.
That's fine.
Oh, it
So
should be
Gazza-
8.
Gazza's
Change
on
it.
8, and Rain is on.
Sorry.
Still 11.
That's all right. It's honest mistake.
Bugger.
Bagger. Sorry.
Don't think it's going to matter too much with a roll of 4. Is that everyone rolled?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Zadie, you see or you hear as Rhea kind of opens the door. You hear this ha come from within. However, you can't see into the room unless you push past Rhea.
Can I do that?
You can indeed. Let me just get rid of the.
Yes.
Can I push past?
Let me just. Cool. So that's about 15 feet of movement as you sort of shove past Rhea, stumbling as Rhea's sort of taken aback and steps back just as she hears the sound. As you see on the other side of this wine rack, there's a druid there standing there with a staff that's sort of glowing in their hand as they sort of slam into the
I
ground.
can't see that. It's the
You're able to see their presence, but not clearly, and that's true. You can't see the glow, but they are holding a staff, and sort of.
no. I mean, like dynamic lighting wise, I can't see where they are.
Can you actually not? Is there actually a
No.
interesting? Well,
yeah,
you,
like the wine
Yeah.
rack is being a thing.
Sure, I will. Oh my god, I will delete it for ease of purpose. But it is there, and it does kind of occlude your vision pretty heavily. You can't attack through there, quite simply. But you you see them sort of standing there, and although you can't tell directly because you don't have normal vision, you only have your blind sight. You can kind of see around on the ground around you. There are loads of broken twigs and pile small bundles of twigs that are sort of burst in the space. Yes, you may. There you go. So yeah, what would you like to do? Is you do get a vague outline of this individual, but there's no way for you to easily kind of physically reach them directly here.
Okay. I'm going to try and do hold person on them.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and click the spell, and let me know what your spell save DC is.
It is 13. Super high.
Well,
Sure.
it may be enough. It's a wisdom save. Okay. Wisdom save 8. Okay. They fail, and as you extend your hand out to cast the spell, they kind of start to lock up, and you see them there with the staff held out in front of them as they kind of just freeze in place. You see them gritting their teeth, their eyes are sort of flicking around wildly, but they are for all intents and purposes, paralyzed.
Okay, I will yell out, I have paralyzed them. They are not.
Are you like a Klingon in a Star Trek thing? Like just full on robot?
I've been
Okay.
very clear.
That's so
Okay.
awesome.
All right. Cool. Because there are no other enemies in this local vicinity, we're gonna briefly pull out of initiative as you have a minute to decide what you want to do. Obviously, I'm not going to give you more than a minute of real time, but as they kind of lock up in place, they don't get a chance to continue to save. Oh, the end of their turns. I take that all back.
Yeah.
So they do get to continue
Yeah.
trying to save. However, you know that they've locked up in place. So what, Zadie, what else would you like to do? You can still move with 15 feet of movement.
I'd like to move and start pulling like a rope from my bag.
Sure.
5, 10,
Yeah,
15, and like
Okay.
yell
Yeah, you're
over
able
to
to
the
get-
others,
get
help
to
me
that,
tie
yeah.
them up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So you start to like pull the rope out. That's where you get to. Rain. You can hear this. You hear what Zadie says from downstairs.
Yep.
What would
I'm
you like to
gonna
do?
stroll on downstairs.
Cool. So, I mean, Guzza's in the way effectively, so it's like 10, 15. You can get to there, down
Whoa, where
down
am I
screen.
now?
Down screen. You're there. Sorry, this is going to screw you over.
Nope. Yep.
Elliot.
There I am again.
Yep. Elliot, I'll move you down there because you can now make it there. So that's where you are, roughly. So, yeah, you make it to there with your full movement. You can see this druid again through the wine rack, not able to be reached here. But you can see them kind of locked up in place, and Zadie's sort of pulling rope out of her bag. What would you like to do with your action, bonus action?
Okay. I will go 1, 2. How much more movement do I have left?
None.
Okay, well I've used 2. There we go.
Okay, so
That's it.
you've used
That's
your
a
action to dash to get there, sure.
Basically, yeah. 3, 4,
Uh,
5.
Go
I
ahead.
just want to visual on it.
Yeah, but you do have dark vision because you're.
I do have dark vision.
So go ahead as you're moving in that direction. Go ahead and make a just a perception check, please.
Okay, let's see what I perceive. What do I perceive? Let's find out.
Least find out.
Something good, something good, something good.
Oh, 20. I perceive something.
You do actually perceive something. I'm just checking something.
Eyes.
Checking something on the paralyzed condition as well for the ease of purpose. Okay, it's melee. Attacks that are within 5 feet are crits. That's what I was just trying to establish. So ranged attacks aren't crits
Okay.
on paralyzed people.
What
Okay,
if I put the gun right to their forehead? Does that still count?
you would have disadvantage made up by advantage, so it'd be a flat roll, but it would be a crit because you're within 5 feet. It's
I was
not
gonna
melee
say, 'cause I
attacks.
was gonna say because I will poke it straight to their temple.
Yeah, I mean, effectively, you do. It's really dumb, but you like for mechanical purposes, for the purposes of keeping it
Okay.
fair and balanced, you would have a flat roll because they're paralyzed, advantage, close range, disadvantage. That's just the way.
Okay.
That's the way it functions.
If he's lying on the ground, does it become double disadvantage?
Nope, you don't stack. You know that.
Okay.
They never stack, unfortunately. So you can be like have one form of advantage somehow, thanks to like guiding bolt, and be paralyzed, prone, like blinded, everything, and you can still roll normally.
Okay.
It's really dumb, but it's to keep the. Otherwise, you get really stupid, like complicated, like
Roll 7
stacking-
attack die. To
stacking,
see if you
yes,
crit.
stacking advantage exactly, or stacking disadvantage. Okay, so you notice as you're sort of coming round here, something catches your eye, and you see protruding from the wall along here,
Along where?
along there, effectively, like
Okay.
effectively where I've just moved you to.
Yeah.
You see that there's like, again, the wall is more roughly hewn here, but you can see that there's like a small jutting rock that looks a little bit like, and it's got a distinct like loop through it. It looks like a handle of some kind. It just catches your eye as you move past, but you continue to move as you see fit.
Okay.
But it looks to be some kind of handle right around here.
I will bear that in mind.
Cool. All right, Rhea, you're up. Guzza, you're up next. Again, if you guys want to collectively take your turns to expedite it slightly, please do, because
Yep.
there's a druid
Yep.
who may
I'm
break.
gonna move. Yeah, I'm gonna move through past Zadie, grab one end of the rope that she's just taken out, and I'm gonna basically go up to this guy and start putting his hands behind his back and tying the rope, just restraining him a bit extra for if he breaks out of this
Yeah.
spell.
I mean, go ahead and make a. This would be. It's like an intelligent sleight of hand, effectively. I'll say for ease of purpose, just make a sleight of hand roll. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like a kind of dexterity-based intelligence check.
Uh,
I mean, you start tying. You're still doing it, but you've taken the rope.
Yeah.
You're in the process of tying it. It may not be the best knot, but this person's currently paralyzed, so they're kind of hard. It's kind of hard to bring their hands close together without kind of they are like kind of fixed in place in a way. Like their muscles are really tense, but you're able to start kind of like binding them up.
To expedite this, can I give her aid on that? So she's able to go?
Sure. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead and roll with advantage.
Do
I'll say
again.
you're able to make it over there to bind this person up if you simply so. Yeah, 16.
That's better.
Yeah. Again, with Gaza kind of doing the more physical side of things, of like bending their arms into place a little bit more. You can kind of tell that they're straining against it, but you're able to start really wrapping their wrists up and getting them tied up. Again, to expedite it, obviously, Gaza, that's kind of your turn to have done that, but it has helped. Trundle, as you make your way downstairs and sort of step into the room, you can see that this person's pretty well dealt with. Their hands are being sort of bound. I guess at this point they would kind of be in front of them, but quite heavily. And Gaza, Rhea, Zadie are all sort of closing it around them. They're locked in place. And but what would you like to do? As you can kind of see through the wine bottles, you can see this all happening.
The paths to my right and left, they don't go downwards; they go upwards, I presume.
You mean the stairways? Yes, they only go up at this point.
I will go and have a look around this.
Okay, so you do take a dash action. You make your way into another room that looks similar to this. There are no wine bottles in place here. There's just like a couple of smashed ones on the floor. But compared to the room that you were just in, the other section of this this cellar, effectively, this one is pretty bare bones. There's no people. There's no twigs all over the floor. There's no barrels. There's very few wine bottles, and they're all broken. God damn it.
So there's nada really. There's no
Yeah,
point in doing sort of like perception stuff. It's just
Yeah, I mean, go ahead and make a perception check nonetheless as you pass across the thing that has been seen previously. See if you spot it as well. Yeah, so as you move past this kind of, I'll point it out quite directly. In fact, I will draw it on for ease of purpose. This area right here, can you see that red line? You can?
Yes. Sorry.
Sorry,
yeah.
I wasn't sure. I saw you.
No, I spoke. I just didn't hit the button.
Oh, you just push talk. Okay, cool.
I am. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just every now and again.
That's all right. Yeah, no, it's totally fine. So yeah, as you move past, you kind of, unlike Rain, who's like keen eyes, kind of caught the handle to this. As you move past, you feel this particularly cold breeze brush past you. This actual cellar is very cool. Like the air in here is almost it's a fair bit colder than upstairs, and upstairs it's not exactly warm, so it's quite cool in here. And you get this brush of like almost like I don't know the best way to describe it, like opening an icebox on a summer's day. You get that blast of cool air but from the side, and as you step back, you kind of feel it coming from the seams of this rock face. Again, you get the sense that this is a doorway of sorts, or like a concealed door. As you make your way back a little bit, so you still have a little bit of movement if you'd like to play around with it.
I will stand in front of it.
Cool, it's nice and chilly.
Now, I mean, message those around me, letting them know. I think I found something.
Cool. You all hear that with the mind ping. The druid doesn't do anything on the turn besides get to attempt to break the thing with another wisdom save. That is a 19. So they do snap out of the whole person. It breaks. You feel the connection break, Zadie, but their hands are already bound at this point, sort of in front of them, having been bent into place. The staff has clattered to the ground near them, and their eyes are looking wild as their heads start snapping around. As you're again, I would say for ease of purpose, they're kind of grappled as well as restrained. So they're all kind of bound up here. It's not looking great for them. Zadie, the spell breaks, but it's now your turn. What would you like to do?
It is laying on the ground, maybe. So.
I'm going to just talk to them. I'm going to say, what are you guys doing here?
again, their head sort of having been like twisted towards Guzza at this point, looking at them, snaps towards you, and they just sort of just hiss at you without saying anything. They mutter something, but it's not in a language you understand.
Anyone know what they're saying?
Does anyone understand it? Yeah.
What language? No, okay, guess not. None of us know it.
Nope.
So, I'm gonna sort of press my glowing dagger to their throat and say, "Common, do you speak it?"
Do they speak common and what? Sorry.
My
Say
sword
that
is
again!
there.
Do you speak it?
I dare you! I double dare you!
J'aime
Yeah.
le pamplemousse.
Oh, oui, c'est ça. No, they again, their eyes are flicking wildly, and they hiss at you as you say that, and you put the dagger to their throat. They just spit at you, but they like you get the sense that they probably understood roughly what you said, but they're not in the mood to talk.
I sock him across the face.
Well, it's still Zadie's turn at this point.
Alright,
It's still
yeah.
sort of turn order loosely. so
Sorry,
Zadie,
I've sort of
That's
forgotten
all right.
about that bit. Yeah.
So Zadie, you still have an action effectively. Like you're trying to communicate with them, but they're not looking too cooperative.
This thing also has a staff, you were saying.
Yeah, not like the other one. It's like a wooden staff. It was glowing slightly. For those of you who saw it before, which would have been actually just Trundle getting clobbered by it pretty hard previously. This and for those of you who are more arcane, it looked like they had a spell cast on their weapon, which broke when they were paralyzed and they dropped their stuff. So.
So I stopped listening after not. So after that, I was like, okay, go. Thank you, Dave. Thank you for explaining.
That's alright. Yeah.
Oh, Gaza doesn't care. Harry cares.
Yeah. So Zadie, what would you like to do?
I think I'm gonna try command on them and tell them to answer.
Tell them to answer.
I don't mind if they do it in a different language. I just want them to know that I can do this shit too.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. So it does happen on their next turn, but we will we make the save now. So it's a Wisdom save, DC 13.
Another wisdom. Not good for Travis.
Uh,
DC 13. No.
Yeah. As you say it, their head kind of snaps towards you. You know that they don't need to understand it for it to work necessarily.
Yeah.
Oh no, sorry. In fact, you do know that they need to understand it for it to work. But their head snaps towards you, and you do sense it sort of like you do sense it and potentially taking hold before they kind of push it away. So you the information you glean at least is that they understood the word answer. So they have some grasp of common. You got something from the spell at least, but it does dissipate. Unfortunately, not landing any movement or anything like that, or just staying put. Staying put.
Yeah. No. I'm just. Well, I'll move a bit closer and like just help with the more restraints. More restraints.
Sure. Okay. Rain.
Are they still restrained?
Yes, they are still bound by the hands.
Do I still get the crit if I shoot him in the head?
No, they're not. They're not paralyzed. It's only when they're paralyzed. You would still have advantage on an attack roll against them.
Okay, in that
but-
case then, I want to move into a position to shoot them.
Yeah, I mean, you're able to sort of step to one side and aim at them. All of you see this.
And I'm going to use my violent shot, but I have advantage, so that's okay. And I'm going to take a bang at them. Go.
Cool. All right. So, violent shot. You get to roll one additional weapon die, so you can go
I
ahead.
do. Let's roll another one.
Yep.
Okay.
So it'd be
That's
another.
pretty evil,
It'd be
man.
another 6. So a total of.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot to turn advantage off on that one.
That's all right. No. But like the you don't include the. Dex
of
mod.
course.
Yeah. So
Oh, yeah,
I'll just roll
obviously.
the dice separately. You should set it so you can just roll that separately as like a
Okay.
different attack without the
I will
attack
set. I
roll.
will set that then.
Cool. Yeah, we'll go through it after the session anyway.
No big.
Yeah. So I mean, with that, it's what I said 6, so 18 damage as you sort of step and point your gun at them as they're kind of bound and your allies are there. Your allies see it in enough time to kind of step back a little bit. Just not necessarily to let you do it. I don't know what their intentions are, but seeing you pointing
No,
a
I'll
weapon
be
in
like, no.
Yeah, but seeing you point a weapon in their direction,
I'll just
at
say,
least-
dodge this.
Ah,
God damn it. Well, you're not close enough. You don't get to do the Matrix dodge this shot. So, yeah, you still, however, take a shot that cracks through here and, again, does briefly deafen everyone in the local vicinity just because of the violence of the grit shot. Again, they're still standing, but they take the shot and they kind of stagger backwards, hands there, and you hear them kind of hiss as blood starts to bubble from their mouth. You will obviously see and hear this. Rhea, you're kind of holding this individual, but you've moved out the way of this shot slightly as you hold the dagger near their throat. They look wounded pretty heavily, and you have their spit kind of dripping down your face.
yeah, I'll just sort of wipe it off with one hand, press the dagger in just deep enough to draw blood, and say, if you want even the smallest chance of surviving for the next 10 minutes, you'd better start talking proper common. Or my friend over there is probably going to blow your head off.
I'm just gonna smile.
Yeah, unfortunately, as you say that, they again through the blood bubbling from their face, from their mouth, like having been shot sort of in the chest region, and you know their lungs are clearly starting to fill with blood. They kind of smile with these reddened teeth, these yellow teeth now reddened by their own blood, as they kind of look up at you and just go, "Kill me all you want. You will all be taken by Gulfias." As again, the blood. You'll all, like he says, you'll all be taken by Gulfias. As the blood kind of just again pools around their mouth, making it hard to fully understand quite what they're saying. But they're kind of like again just eyes wildly staring at you. The glow of the dagger beneath their neck kind of illuminating their face in that same way as you do with like a horror story as a kid in like a campsite. You'd put the torch beneath. It's like that, but again they're the ones being threatened, and they seem like. There's a combination of adrenaline, everything that's going on here, but there's a wild nature to them that you've not seen in many people before.
That name, I'm way too out of my depth to know that that's what the staff is, isn't it? That was the name of the staff, even with that.
You have no idea.
Yeah, wouldn't even really associate it. Fair enough.
Sorry.
I'm gonna look at Guzza and say, I don't think we're gonna get much out of this one, and I'll basically wait for the nod from him and to just plunge the dagger in the rest of the way.
Okay, yeah. Again, because of the nature of this, and because coup de grace can kind of be a thing. Again, like I'll think about it in terms of the gun as well, because, like you said, you could point and click. It would more be like a roll to see that you don't jam your weapon. Yeah, you're able to kind of just push drag the dagger across, and as they're kind of like laughing, their laugh is cut off as the air just starts to kind of push out of the wound that you've sort of created across their neck. And they kind of just again with their hands still bound, sort of in this kind of position, and the blood kind of seeping out of their top, they just sink to the ground. Just with this twisted grin on their face as blood kind of just drips around their chest and body, and they fall to the ground dead. And you're out of initiative. There is no one else in this area. However, you're able to kind of glean from all the bundles of sticks piling around on the ground that there were probably some twig creatures down here previously that were most likely silenced by the Thanos snap. I mean the twig snap. Whatever you want to call it. Except it killed 100% of them. So yeah, as you were there, you hear the gurgling of the life leaving this druid. You'll plunge once more into an eerie silence.
What can I see quite from this doorway, like right in front of me? Is it literally a door, or is it?
It's definitely. You can tell that it's definitely like concealed. This is not intended to be found necessarily. It is a secret door, but in terms of like what you can see from where you are, it's just like it looks like any other stretch of the wall. It's just that you sensed it as you moved past.
Yeah. Okay. Can I check to see if there are any traps somehow, or do I don't really know how that works, but
Yeah, go ahead and make it's an investigation check you can make.
Right.
Sorry.
You don't sense anything. Again, it's cold. That's what you're really getting from it, but you're not getting anything. You don't see any mechanisms. You feel around a little bit. It budges slightly, and nothing happens when you sort of press your hand against it slightly. But you don't
Cool.
you don't think you have a you don't think that there's a problem in terms of
Alright,
the.
then I'll try and push through the door, get through to the other side.
Okay.
Break on through to the other
I'll
side.
just be doing last rites on the court.
Cool. Yeah, you are able to open the door without so much of an issue. Let me just get rid of the actual little red marker as well, because you can now see through it. And you see.
Head up to the door as well.
Yeah, for sure. You all sort of see Trundle there, moving around, and Rain.
I'm not like
you've all-
barreling through it. I am waiting, and I did let everyone know. So
Oh, yeah. And just looking down into this area, you get a sense of, again, a rush of cold air, and you can see that after shoving it open, which is a little bit stiff, it feels like it hasn't been opened in quite a time. This tunnel kind of stretches about 15 or 20 feet ahead of you into a cave that you can see extends maybe 10 or so feet beyond that. Yeah, that's what you can see from here. The walls look kind of rough.
shall we?
I'm gonna wait.
Shall we what?
Sadie finishes the rites.
Oh, absolutely.
You know,
Oh,
I
no.
reckon if we weren't so quick to finish that off, we would have got something from them.
I'm very skeptical of that.
Sorry, Ray, you have a bit of spit on the side there. Oh, it came from that dead thing over there.
Yeah, not exactly the sign of the most reasonable person.
Very hospitable.
Time changes people's minds, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I think he was prepared to go down fighting.
Well, his time's up. Let's go.
Well, we didn't have to let him go
Indeed.
down.
So what would you like to do?
So we go in the tunnel.
I'll
There's a
lead the
tunnel?
way.
Secret tunnel.
I love secret tunnels.
So, yeah, as you move down slowly, as you get to about wait. Wait.
Oh.
Yeah, as you get to about that point, it's about here as you sort of make your way down. Again, you can feel the cold in this area kind of creeping in, like specifically very cold. I'd say actually, go ahead and make a nature check before you get to that point. 14's not bad. It's not bad.
Not great, but it's
I mean,
not
I'll
bad.
take it. I've got -1 on it, so I'm taking that.
You know, I'm feeling generous. I'm feeling generous. As you kind of step forward and you kind of examine further into the darkness, as you have your dark vision and the light from Rhea kind of comes from behind. As you're getting to within about sort of 10 feet or so of this rough, where the wall seems to become almost like a more natural wall, the light pierces from behind you, and you stop in your tracks as you see. The wall itself is not so much roughly hewn as it is coated in what looks like a kind of a moldy surface. At first, this doesn't bring back any memories for you, but there's you get almost like a natural instinct, part of your sixth, almost like a sixth sense, kind of an animalistic sense that this is not safe. There is it's almost like the warmth is being pulled out of the air and is being drawn towards this brownish mold that coats the surface, and as you see the back wall illuminated faintly from Rhea's light, coated also with the same material. You don't have enough of a study of what this is, but you get the sense that this is causing this whole place to be very cold, the whole cellar. And it takes you a little while, as it's not your forte, but you get the sense that this is perhaps here by design to keep the place cool, to keep the wine chilled, but is not something, especially due to the fact that it hadn't been moved for a long time, the doors seem to be quite stiff, that this is not something that people come to regularly. And you pause as you get to about 10 feet or so from it, as you get just the cold filtering out.
I mean, as I'm going, I'll be relaying kind of the information to everyone behind me, saying, like up ahead, this strange, moldy stuff. I'm gonna press forward until the lip. Can I get to the sort of lip, or is it too much mold stuff?
There's quite a lot of mold stuff, but you can make it there, no problem.
All right, then I'd like to push
As
forward.
as you get to that
just a
point,
bit.
you feel the mold itself start to kind of almost reach out to you. Almost, it doesn't quite move itself, but as you get close to it, it starts to kind of again, it's along the walls, but starts to just very quickly crystallize the air around you. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw, please. As the air just starts to just lock in around you, and it hurts. It hurts a significant amount.
9.
Okay.
Hero point? Maybe?
You can hero point it if you like.
Oh yeah, I can actually. I will definitely do that. Let's
There you
do a
go.
bit of.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Okay, go ahead and roll a
As a thought.
roll a d6, please.
Don't do a 1.
Ooh, that's
That does take you from a failure to a success. However, you take 9 amazingly pretty low rolls. You take 9 points of cold damage as the air immediately pulls in around you and starts to like lock your joints up as the mold pulses with this energy that just starts pulling any of the warmth that your body emanates naturally just away from you, and you feel the air almost taken from your lungs as you step near it. And although it doesn't actually shift or change the mold, you feel it almost swelling slightly as it draws your energy away from you, and it causes you to kind of stagger back just out of sheer shock from the effect as it pulses but remains. It doesn't lunge towards you, and you're able to sort of step away from it.
I will take another step away from it.
Yeah, I mean,
I thought you were going to say another step forward. And say,
I was like, oh well, cool, okay, man. Yeah,
got-
Not
it's
cool.
character,
Not
right?
cool.
Yeah.
Opposite of cool.
no, very cool, ice cold.
Oh yes, very cool.
It's what's cooler than being cool. So as you step back again, you almost step into Zadie. Zadie's kind of in the doorway and Rain right behind her, but they kind of move back as they see this occur and see the kind of the air still frosting away like from your body as you step back, just shivering from the effect that you just felt. You're
He
again.
just like
He's got this like
walks into me.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna cast Cure Wounds on him as he walks into me.
Yeah, you can tell just by the way that his you can't see the nature of it, but you can still see this like was this faint fog, this shimmer, similar to when someone is like when you're looking through fog. You see this faint shimmer just all over his body, just from the sheer cold. So you get 11 hit points back. So actually restoring more damage than you took, but you were still injured from before.
As I'm sort of staggering back, I'll put my hand on Ziddy's shoulder and thanks. And I'll move to the side. I mean, if for those who haven't, who didn't actually get to see what just happened, I'll usher a warning. Do not go in there. That is something else.
I don't know much about wine, but that can't be good for the grapes.
Is there any sort
Did
of
your
like
family
a
know that's there?
Is there any sort of
bottle of liquid or anything around here like that?
yes, not in that section, not in the western section. In the
Yeah.
eastern section, there is. Sorry. So, there are a ton of wine bottles in here. Let's have a look here. So, the wine bottles in there, in that section, as you step up and examine them, are all intact. A few empty ones here and there, but all the bottles in there appear to be labelled as Red Dragon Crush, which you, having had before, is the nicer of the two wines that were being sold. Go ahead and make an investigation check as well.
Okay, make an investigation check. Let's invest some gates. I saw nothing.
Yeah, cool. That's all you find.
Alright, cool, great. I take a bottle and I throw it into the cold room.
Okay, you should take one of the bottles. Again, this is
I
filled
just
with
toss
wine.
it in.
You throw it in again, step forward a little bit. As you throw it again, as it sort of moves, the motion through the air, like landing and smashing. In the time it takes to travel through into the sort of the shallow end of the cave, or the opening of this cave section, you see as the frost starts to coalesce around the bottle, and as it hits the ground and splashes up, it actually freezes in this burst of glass and wine on the ground, just and locks into
It's
place.
almost beautiful, except I'm not going in there. I think it's best we leave this to the people who own this place. They obviously know more than we do. Anyone
Yeah.
else?
No, I think we should go get them. The house seems safe now, and we can see if they knew this was here or if it's new.
Really hope that doesn't affect the wine delivery. I'm just gonna head upstairs.
Sure. So you make your way upstairs. I mean, at this point in time, you there are 3 ways upstairs, but again, for ease of purpose, with this cellar more or less cleared out and with the entirety of the house searched, with the exception of there is a stables to the very eastern side of the ground floor. I'm assuming in the same time as you would have taken the bodies outside, you would have been able to check it if you so please, and you would have found inside a couple of horses kept in. They're seemingly untouched by the druids here, just left to feed themselves on hay, and they seem to be, perfectly fine.
That seems very druidy. That's in line with what I know of druids.
I will move you guys upstairs. Bear with me.
Okay,
Have I even grabbed you? Oh, I have. I just wasn't showing you moving. There we go. Boom. You're all upstairs. Irina obviously kind of came down a little bit, and then she just didn't exist. It's how you guys like it. So, effectively, as you're back upstairs, what would you like to do? Where would you like to go?
I think
Just-
back to the family and tell them it's safe-ish.
I believe
Apart
so.
from the giant cold thing under the house.
They must be aware of that, surely. There's no way they could have been out there for this long and not known that thing's there.
I mean, there is a door to it in their home.
I
We
believe
can
so.
always warn them not to go down there, and hopefully they know already and they can deal with it. And if not, at least they know not to go down there.
That
If
sound
nothing else, they are. Okay, forgive me, Rainford. Continue.
Like no, go on.
If nothing else, they gave us refuge for the night. So indeed, that must be our first place of calling.
That's true.
They probably use it or something. I've never been here.
It might be best we stay on our guard, though. We ain't knowing what they're like. They may say good things, but I'll say good things initially.
Is that the one that spit in your face, Ray?
I don't know.
Let's
I'd rather not think about the one that spit in my face, thank you.
These crows still about or not?
Yeah, the ravens are still in there. They.
Oh, for fuck's sake! I'm sorry.
That's alright. I mean, I'm not offended or anything. It's not like get your crow
That's
privilege. Yeah, exactly.
My Avery knowledge is not top tier.
Yeah.
Are you
Avery.
You didn't study bird law.
Yeah. Well, exactly. Yeah.
Murder. Sorry.
So yeah,
That was good.
they are all still there, perched up again along the railing. They seem relatively unaffected by the goings on of this place. Besides when you were moving past them and shooting guns near them and shit, they're otherwise pretty placid and just sort of observing more than anything else.
But before
Can I
we
speak?
leave- Go on.
Sorry.
No.
Go. No, I'm just gonna sort of turn to them and say in Primordial and leaning towards the Oran dialect, which I'm probably a bit more familiar with. Gonna say, anything at all? Nothing. Hello. No.
No, that's it. There's nothing that comes from them specifically.
Come,
fuck it.
a bear.
And keep going.
There's
No,
occasional, occasional calls.
Ray, if you Ray, if y'all got questions to ask, now I ain't done this often, and I might need a sip of that there water that you got there, but I can talk to him if you like, if you're so interested. I mean, I seen ravens and other bird folk. First sign of danger, they fly off to nowhere, but these ones stay in here. That's awful suspicious, but I ain't gonna waste my time if you don't think it's worth it.
It is suspicious. And I'd rather... might be a good idea to at least explore it. I mean, if there's something sinister about them, then we don't want to send a family back in with them lurking around. Right?
I suppose, but what y'all else think? No, I too appreciate your silence in this manner, because you can't either speak to them birds. But if you so choose, I will continue with my perseverance and all.
If you want to stay in here and do it, I'll stay with you.
I don't think we're in particular rush. I mean, if we stay here, we can definitely make sure the house is safe for a little bit longer before we go get the family.
Yeah. You also note
That is true.
You also note that there was rainfall sort of as you're coming in here. However, it's over the last couple of hours, like as this whole thing has unfolded, the rainfall stopped. It wasn't like when this thing broke or anything. It wasn't like some sort of dramatic weather being controlled. It just happened to subside over the last couple of hours. But you are aware that it is getting towards nightfall of the next couple of hours, hour or so, because from the travel all the way from Vallaki to Krezk down to here, and then your experiences here with the kind of like a short rest that you took. There's time has advanced effectively. So just to give you context, it's maybe 5 p.m. thereabouts. So what would you like to do?
Well, I was going to suggest we leave some of us here before we go get the others, just in case.
Well,
Leave
how
some.
about...
If we want a few of us stay behind, just to keep an eye on the place, and then the rest of us go grab the occupants of this place.
Yeah, that makes sense. How about Guzza, Ray, and Arena, if you stay here and look after the house, and then Rain, since you know them, and then me and Trundle can go out and get the family?
They're not too far away, are they? No. So,
No, it won't take long.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, we'll stay.
Sounds good.
Okay, that's what we do. Splitting the
We
party.
won't go down into the cellar.
Cool. And are you, Guzza, are you intending to do what I think you're intending to do?
I will wait until the return of the family.
Okay.
I think
So
I'd rather everyone be here.
So you're all sort of waiting around, whilst. So who's setting off? Rhea on your own?
No, I'm staying.
You're saying who's
Me, Guzza, and Darina are staying.
Excuse me, apologies.
Thanks.
Okay, so that would make Zadie, Trundle, and Rain heading off. And as you make your way across back through the sort of winding path between the vineyard, there is a certain sense of sort of eeriness that perhaps there might still be some of these things out there, but it is, aside from the wind and the squelch of your boots and the wet mud, it's quiet. And as you come back towards the small collection of trees, the miniature forest that the family was staying at, you glance through from a distance again, Rain, with your eyesight, being of particular, good, being particularly good at distance. You are able to spot a couple of the figures amongst the trees, and as you start to approach, you see as a couple of them converse, and one of them sort of steps out again, and you see the same sort of older hand with the staff, and you won't say staff, like the cane in his hand, sort of just hail you from beneath his hood, and he sort of waits there underneath the tree as the three of you approach. And as you approach again, you see the elderly face of Elvir Martikov. Again, his beard sticking out from beneath the hood, sort of betraying who he is, before you're within sort of sight of his darkened features. and as he sees you coming back, he pulls his hood back and raises his head, so standing to a slightly higher height than before, having a sort of a crook back. He just goes, "How have you fared? Where are your friends? I see only 3 of you. Unless my old eyesight deceives me."
They're just at the house making sure that it's, there's nothing else there, but we think we got everything.
We heard the scream. We figured either you were successful or you were not. But
No, that was our
Very
friend
wise
Guzzer.
of
He did
you,
real
Ollie.
good.
Well, I meant more that moment was when you were successful or otherwise. But yes, you seem to have done well. Those people, you have dealt with them. All of them.
As far as we can tell.
I imagine there are more out there. They are like rodents, like beasts out in the wild. But thank you, my family and I. We owe you greatly. You sort of again, you see the congregation of the other sort of 7 or so behind him, 7 or 8 other individuals of younger looking, later generations of this man's family, and he says back to them, he's like, "Looks like we'll be sleeping with a roof over our heads tonight. Come, you must join us for whatever meal we have available to us. Come, thank you."
Night's rest would be appropriate.
Well, as promised, you're more than welcome to stay. I will I'll make something available to you. We will work something out. And he steps forward and sort of leads you back. Even though you know the way, he kind of leads you back and talks with you on the way back. You see, again, the collection of family members, some in a generation below, some in 2, possibly 3 generations younger. One, like I said, of the teen girl carrying a baby, effectively. But the baby is quiet as you make your way and reunite with the others within this, within the winery. And as he leads you and talks with you, sort of says, "If any of you hurt or wish to rest up, we have some basic supplies. Nothing of the arcane nature, but we can patch up a few wounds here and there if you so need." And he sort of glances across and looks at you, Trundle, having sort of seen the kind of marks across you. Even though you've been healed and hurt, there's still signs of your injuries. If you need anything, just feel free to ask. I will begin preparations for dinner. Please rest all you need. We don't have many living quarters. This is a place of business after all, but make yourselves at home. He gives you like a smile beneath the matted bushy beard and makes his way kind of up the, I'm trying to think the best way to get there, up this, like through the barrel room and up the small spiral staircase to get to the kitchen area, and invites you to all rest. Is there anything you guys want to do?
To the party, I'll just message and the moss. Need we mention? It seems perhaps it's just a coolant, but it may have even gotten the better of me. So perhaps it's dangerous still.
I think we should, but I think because you were gonna do something first, right?
That's why I ask. Should we notify or?
I mean, I think we should talk to them about it. Yeah.
I mean, kind of looking to Guzzer. Guzzer wanted to do something. No? Okay.
Guzzer is like a million miles away from you at the moment.
No,
isn't
we're-
he?
No, you guys have
downstairs.
made it back. You guys have made
No,
it back.
Oh, sorry.
Have we done
Sorry.
stuff in the meantime? 'Cause,
If there's something you want to have done in the meantime, I was just trying to expedite just a little bit. But if there is something you
Sure.
want to have done in the, say 10 or so minutes it's taken for them to go out, find them, and bring them back,
yeah.
is there anything you would like to have done?
I'm not actually good at. Sorry, Sophie was asking me earlier about what have you changed into Irenia, and we could get some weird thing going on here. And I was like, no, Sophie, I'm not that interested in all this.
Yes, sure. It was me who
Um,
suggested that. Totally. Yeah. Sounds right.
Classic Sophie.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
So,
Is-
sorry, Ray.
Go for it.
No, there's not. There's not. I mean, other than Rhea telling me about this green bedroom she's so interested in talking about, she saw earlier. But other than that, I'm like, okay.
You wanted to talk to the ravens. God damn
No,
it.
we're waiting for everyone else to come back.
Everyone
before
else
we-
has come
Oh,
back.
wait,
Yeah.
well, while we are waiting, I will sort of say together. Are you okay? I saw Zadie take you aside before, and you came back from the church together. Is everything all right now, or?
I mean, we all know what I did ain't right, but we all trying to move on from mistakes and doing right. So I'll keep trying, and I'm sure you understand. You know, doing wrong certainly isn't so awful lot of times.
Oh, I'm no stranger to fucking up, doing things wrong. Yeah, you take a breath and then keep going. Not much else to do. Be okay. She's pretty forgiving. I think she got me out of prison.
Yeah, that ain't a story I heard in its full length. Perhaps another time over a cool drink and a warm roof we can hear more about it.
We got plenty to drink, but we're not supposed to take it, are we? No. If they offer us a bottle, I think they owe us a bottle, don't you think? Maybe 2, 3.
I meant
barrel.
water.
Water. Oh. Can I drink while I tell the story? At least.
Only thing you're damaging is yourself.
Well, someone has to. And yeah, that'll probably be pretty much most we got time for.
Sure, as the others sort of return, and again, Elvir sort of makes his way upstairs. His family kind of thank you all in their ways. Again, there's you get introduced to his son, his eldest son, who's sort of in his looks to be in his, I'd say maybe late 40s, called Adrian. You meet his youngest son, called Dag, and his adult daughter called Stefania. There are some other kids with them as well. Claudio, Martin, Vigo, and the baby is called Yolanda. And they all sort of head up to their rooms, and thankfully you've cleared away all the bodies. So there's like weird patches of like blood stains and whatnot that you haven't really been able to clean up, and sort of bits of vines and shit everywhere. But you don't. Besides a couple of like startled like spooks upstairs where you kind of probably don't get to see them jump, but you imagine they're probably slightly shocked by some of the things. They go upstairs and filter through their rooms and get themselves reacquainted, as they sort of heft these bags with them of their belongings that they took with them for the time they were out of their, basically chucked out of their home and had to, it's effectively made destitute. So as you do this, as you're all sort of reconvened and waiting for food, is there anything you guys want to do before you're made a dinner and effectively take a long rest?
I would like to speak in Raven, or more importantly, I'd like to speak with animals.
Sure.
So,
as one of your, I believe one of your spells you learn as a Oath of the Ancients Paladin, you channel it within yourself, and your mind is briefly sort of flushed over with the it's almost indescribable, but the warmth of Shaltia sort of pushes across and pervades into your mind, and it instills you with confidence to be able to communicate with animals. They are all sort of lined up, and effectively the occasional caw you hear from the birds it's like almost like a, there's no, it doesn't actually have any words to it. It's kind of like a dog barking. Even if you could understand it, it's just kind of like a notification, like a sound rather than something being said. However, you can hear little bits of chatter, very simple chatter between some of the birds as they kind of rather than cawing, are more sort of like cooing and making different noises. But nothing of great interest. However, if you would like to speak to them, by all means. You need to tell me what you're saying. You can't just say ka and I go,
do you not have to speak with animal spell? Sorry.
Sorry, shit.
So,
I've got to prepare it.
y'all,
What's that? Shit, what's that from?
Caw.
Cacao.
Was it Arrested Development and pretending to be
Yeah.
chickens?
No, it's not.
Evolution.
That wasn't what I was thinking.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Trying to get the big dinosaur thing.
Yeah, thank you.
Back on track. Gaza.
Sorry, yes.
That was important.
It
Y'all,
was very important that we established it. Yeah.
Fantastic.
y'all, ravens, right?
Well, again, for ease of purpose, one
Of
of
course.
one of
Sorry.
them. Out.
Sorry.
Give you a 5-minute timeout, so you have 5 minutes left of your spell. No, for ease of purpose, one of them kind of like hops down the railing slightly near you and sort of looks at you curiously and goes, "Yes, what of it?"
My friends and I, supposing as we are, we awful wandering here, like folks like you ain't normal all around when blades start flurrying and things be firing, but yet y'all watching there a reason why y'all so keen to be here?
Smells nice. Stays warm.
The house, you mean?
It nods.
Oh, I understand that.
Ask him about the basement.
There's I don't know how y'all folks see levels in this world, but there's a
Levels?
there's a like a plane, and then like a it's awful cold downstairs, so you're staying here. You know about that code?
Not sure what downstairs means, but
No, sorry,
Warm
forgive
here.
me. You know of you say warm here, but it's cold outside. Is there anywhere cold inside?
for ease of purpose, it understands what you mean by inside.
My goodness, sorry.
No, that's all right. I mean, you can get really messy with the terminology of animals. It goes downstairs, cold. I know what downstairs means now.
Oh, thank you.
Warm here, though.
But
Nest upstairs, on roof, in roof.
Your face.
I don't have a beak. Sorry.
that's a raven. That's a raven face. I see it.
I know. This is great. I love it.
Just for clarity, obviously, because an eagle face looks like in. There you go. Yeah, see, obviously, it's like.
You gotta get the kind of like. I mean, my face is. I don't have an eagle face. Okay, I have a.
What's
I
an
can't-
owl face look like?
Yeah, I guess. Fuck you. Come on. What, you got.
Yeah.
It looks at you curiously.
So
Food?
Okay, so I mean, I got something here, but I don't think y'all be all. Actually, fuck it. Guzza carries seeds on him. Guzza's got seeds for days. So yeah, I'll go out
It
to
just goes as it flies down. It sort of hops on the ground. Thanks.
No, y'all enjoy them.
Yeah, you hear it's like as about like as you scatter them across the floor, maybe like a couple of dozen like flop down, and you just get them. You hear this kind of this hum of like yummy, I'm hungry, that kind of shit, just coming from this hum of just like voices. However, you can still distinctly tell which one is the one you've been talking to.
Okay, sure.
It finishes its
Folks,
food, it flitters back up and looks at you.
Okay. While they're eating the grain and seeds, I will quickly ask my compatriots if there's anything else relaying this. Can I assume I can speak both, or I'm not just like, oh, caw. They're like, I don't know.
Yep.
Or is there not an impossibility? Okay, cool. It says comprehend, so I guess I can do that.
Yeah, effectively, the way I interpret it is it's a little it's you can treat it one of two ways. You make sounds like them, and you understand the sounds that they make, but everyone else just hears gibberish. Or it's a bit more like tongues, where you can understand everything that they say, and they can understand everything that you say, even when you speak in your native tongue. I think we'll go with that one, the latter. So effectively, everyone else can understand what you're saying. The bird is kind of cawing at you. They don't understand it, but you do. So everyone else can kind of see you having this conversation, but they only see the one side of it.
Cool. So explaining the bird side of it
Yeah.
to them,
Mhm.
I will ask the others if they have anything else they'd like to ask, including the family members if they're around.
They're not actually around in the area. It wasn't. I wasn't dabbing. It was
wasn't an
going
apology
under
dab,
its wing.
sorry.
Yeah, it's going under its wing.
Okay.
Jeez.
Raven dab.
Yeah, it's got to lick itself clean and stuff. It's a bird.
I mean,
don't know
did they
birds.
hear the druids talk about this Gulfias thing? They know what that is?
Ian, just for the sake of brevity, I'll allow anyone else who's speaking to then replicate.
No, I
the
want to
question
hear
that
you
they
ask it.
Did they all hear anything about this
Wait, that's more of an
Gulfias?
Sorry.
Sorry, friend. I didn't quite catch your name. Your name is
Name?
you. I mean, what would you call your two compatriots next to you, if not a name?
It just looks at you blankly. Look at you like the
okay.
two near it.
Fucking hell.
Wings come out.
Right.
You have 2 minutes left on the
friend?
spell.
Friend, I got questions about this tree branch folk you'll know of. You'll know of a tree branch folk.
Not nice. Mess with nature.
He's still here. He around. He gone.
Don't know.
Y'all see him recently? Was the moon up in the sky last time we saw him? Essentially trying to suggest what time passing is to this thing.
Well, when so you're asking it when it last saw the
Yeah.
like, druid.
Tree bad, man.
You come, then they go away. You feed us, we like you.
Y'all ain't the only ones, but sometimes it's awful difficult to make friends. I wish all folks was as simple as just feeding grain on the ground. Friends, we running out of time on this here spell, and these teeth of mine, this beak ain't quite holding form. One of them's holding a goddamn hourglass in his hand, but it ain't an hour, so I'm awful scared.
You have asked them, do they know any birds that turn into people?
Oh, that's an awful
yeah.
good question.
Ask that, definitely.
Now I need to think about how I gotta phrase such a question, because something like that's awful difficult to suggest to someone. So I gotta think about how to suggest what a person is, and then how to suggest the changing of that. Forgive me. Friend, you busy over there?
More green.
Any of y'all turned into weird person folk?
What?
Right, forgive me, friend. Y'all, the birds that you are, and I'm awful jealous of your flight and all, but
Oh, lordy.
y'all seen any turn into them bodies?
Caw, 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 caw!
I just.
You guys don't know the spell's ended because you've only ever heard cawing. Gaza, the bird looks back at you, sort of twists its head slightly.
Caw, caw!
No, I don't. No, okay. All right.
I'm taken actually.
I love you too.
No, you do you, friend.
Any of y'all birds be like me?
The bird flies up and flitters off. It just lands on like a railing above with some of the other birds and hops around.
No, they didn't quite understand that last one. I wish there was a way I could somehow suggest an ability to transform from one person into another. I ain't quite thinking of a way I could do that, per so to speak.
Oh, wow.
Awful.
I'm so angry.
I mean, but like,
We don't know. We don't know.
I put it like this. I feel like those of you that like watching the conversation and then seeing Guzza at the end, if you really think that you would have been like intently like focusing on Guzza, you can make an insight check. However, Guzza, you can easily make a deception check. And I'll say, because they had no idea what was said to you, you have advantage on it as well. So if anyone wants to make an insight check and you feel like it would have been in character to be like, is Guzza telling the truth? You can make one. But otherwise, like, Guzza just kind of rides with it, charismatic as he is. Just
I'm miffed. I don't understand what he's doing. I'm just kind of standing there with my gun, looking at the bloodstains, and I didn't check. I was just kind of...
I'm gonna do it.
Guzza did
Trundle
his best.
doesn't comprehend.
yeah.
I'm gonna do it.
Okay,
Because he's
go ahead.
talking to birds.
Go ahead and make an insight check, Guzza. Go ahead and make a... Go make a deception check with advantage. I don't think you can roll lower than that, but just to see if
No.
you nat
I
one
definitely
twice.
can't. I should.
But
No,
just-
even then.
No.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, never mind. I'm enraptured.
Yeah,
I think you're awesome for doing it. Yeah, you're awesome.
Yeah, despite your kind of like, oh, yeah, of course, friend, it's kind of like not too dissimilar to how you occasionally interact. And it was just like kind of like, yeah, see you later, pal, you do you. Kind of, you get the idea that those of you that were listening in on the conversation, the way the bird kind of behaved, it was like guys like befriended this thing. This thing was like, yo, dude, it's cool. It has fucked off now, but you can still see which one it is. You've sort of got a vague sense of which one you've chatted to out of all of these.
Later in our time of need, it will come back to aid us.
Yeah. Turns out that one was actually a real person. It's like it was a real person. They were just speaking in common, but like somehow the rest of you were unaware.
Raven, we require aid! Just comes down from the skies.
Do you have any
Yevgeny's
grain?
breath cover that?
Yevgeny's Breath of Yevgeny, as it is now labelled, is animal friendship.
wolves.
So it works better on wolves, but it can be used on any animal if you so please. But is there anything else you guys want to do, having had that conversation with?
I'd like to use my second spell not to speak. No, I have them out.
That's what I thought you might.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck. So, is there anything you guys want to do before effectively taking a long rest as you sit and talk with the family?
Yeah, I'm going to kind of like not pull him aside, but at a point where me and is it Elvir?
Mhm.
I kind of know each other. Just go like, so we dealt with everything we could, but there is something down in the basement that we did not know how to deal with. Something that should be there.
What do you mean? What did you find?
There's like a passage, and it got like real cold, like dangerously so. And we couldn't go through.
No, you mean the cooling? Yes, we don't check it very often. You all okay?
Oh, yeah, I mean, we're fine. We fixed ourselves. We just weren't sure if it was connected to what was going on.
He chuckles slightly. No, this is our way of keeping cellar cold. Haven't checked it in a while, I suppose, but it does the job, and it does not come through the walls, so just don't put any fire near it. That will spell doom for you and anyone around you.
I fucking wanted to chuck a torch in it.
Oh, God.
Oh,
I kind of did.
boom.
I'm glad I just did the bottle. I just went.
TPK, thanks, Trundle. That would have been awesome.
You don't know what would have happened, but
Yes, best to keep it closed up. Have you closed it back up? Or is that the honor left to me?
Yes, we closed it. Says the
just telepathically. Through.
No, I think I'm not part of the conversation. So
Yes.
I think,
maybe over
I
dinner.
was the
Oh,
last
yes, you
to
said
leave,
take him
though.
aside. Yeah, you did say take him aside. So yeah. Albert, Zadie, as you're sort of conversing with him, he sort of looks at you and says, "Look,
if you don't mind, I could use some help prepping food for dinner tonight. Looks like those assholes decided to tear this place up just a little bit, but thankfully I don't think they eat too much. At least not from here. We should be able to make some kind of stew up at least. We have some potatoes and well,
Food. Mimi, I could do food.
if you're looking to help, by all means, please.
Yes, sure.
He says, Adrian, come. Look, he sort of sets you up to help prepare the food with his elder son, Adrian, who, again, like I said, he's in his like mid to late 40s, but and seems to be the father of some of the younger like kids here, the teenagers and so on. But he does take you aside, Zadie, as he's talking. He says, "You seem to be quite capable. Look, I don't mean to impress upon you the any more to impose. You've been we're incredibly grateful as it is, but you are aware we supply the wine to this whole damned valley, yes? Well, we have been slowly but steadily losing our ways to produce the wine. And as of, well, when this happened, all of 4 or 5 days back, these Tung druids have taken our seeds. We have seeds magical seeds, that they have for generations fertilized this land, made it capable of growing grapes even in this damned soil. They've taken the last of the 3 that we had, and now it seems we are left without ways to create wine. We have wine prepared. We'll be covered for a few weeks or months, perhaps. I'm not sure how long, but without it, no crop will grow. No matter how hard we try. So...
forgive me, sir. A bird got my throat earlier. Y'all talking about magic seeds? I ain't quite heard of such a thing in my past timings and that, but
This conversation was actually just between me and this one here.
I'm awful sorry, sir. I'm in another room.
No,
forgive me.
I mean, it was more that he was taken aside by Zadie, and therefore it wasn't like a communal table conversation. No, that's quite all right. I mean, this is information that just happens to be being imparted in this situation.
I think your friend, the the green-skinned one, he might be interested in this. Might be interested in these magic seeds. I don't know, but in the interest of
sentence was gonna be like, seeds? Oh, Guzza, come over here, but I got taken from me.
You could do if you so please. I'm obviously doing that as a bit of a joke, but yeah, he imparts this information to you.
Look, I don't expect you to. Wine is not the biggest of your worries, I suppose, if you're in the business of dealing with problems like these people, if that's what you want to call them, these bestial people. But if you would spare a thought, it was them who took it, so...
See, that's what I'm thinking. As far as I'm concerned, you guys got targeted for a reason, so I'm sure we'll be happy to help you figure it out. And wine seems mighty important to a lot of folk, so I don't think we can let that go.
Right, I know. It's everyone drinks. I mean, can you blame them?
Sure.
He gives you like Leonardo DiCaprio Inception. Kind of look.
Oh my god, the buzz came in as you said that. Like, bah.
But I'm sure we'll be happy to help find the seeds.
That is appreciated. is something we can discuss more of dinner or tomorrow.
You should talk to my friend Guzza, because he knows all about farming and that. He'd be so happy to help out, and he'd know way more than I would.
Well, I was not planning on sharing this only with you, but seeing as you show interest and seem to have a certain level of care that, well, he gestures towards the sunburst. He says, I am not one to, of a particular faith, but a holy person such as yourself who follows the,
but he's
Morning
one
Lord
as well,
is,
but his god does the farming.
I did notice. I did not recognize his symbology, but rest assured, I will share this with all of you. Anyway, let us retire for a while, and we'll eat in a short while. And he sort of goes across again. He is still kind of dirtied. He hasn't had time to sort of clean himself up after spending several days out of this place, and although his family members are spread out, he goes and joins them in joins his in fact, he would be using where would he be staying? It's interesting. Probably be staying in the westernmost bedroom, actually, thinking about it. So he'll head off in that direction. And again, unless there's anything you guys want to do between now and taking a long rest and kind of rolling that all in, then we will finish on the long rest.
Make bullets.
Make bullets, of course, yeah.
Make bullets.
Yeah, you are able to make bullets as per our discussion. I think it was 10, possibly 20, whatever. It's half whatever the standard was. So, again,
It's 10.
still plenty. Again, obviously, mark down
I mark-
the amount that you've used.
I have. I've been knocking it down every single time.
Okay, fantastic. Well, you prepare another 10 bullets during your rest. You guys are given a simple but comforting meal from the Martikov family. Again, assisted by Rhea as well.
Can I do a cooking utensils?
By
thing?
all means, you can do a cooking utensils.
Just for shits and giggles.
Even though all the utensils
See
are
how
here,
much I ruin it
yeah.
or help it along.
I'll give you
yeah.
advantage because you're being helped by the
Oh, okay.
by
I'll
Adrian Martikov. So yeah, go ahead and roll again. So
19.
19's pretty good. I mean, with the the root vegetables they have, and they don't have meat. They don't keep animals besides the horses here, but you're able to concoct a pretty hearty kind of vegetable stew. And considering you guys have done quite a bit of journeying and walking today and expending energy whilst fighting and casting spells and so on and so forth, you're all sort of revitalized by this meal. Even though you're about to get a long rest, you will regain 1 hit point from the heartiness of the meal because it was a successful
Full hit
check.
points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're about to regain them all anyway. But you will get 1 hit point as you effectively short rest around the table and discuss these things. The information will be passed to you again. We'll do it at the beginning of next session because we're getting past 11. And as mentioned, I told the players in the break, I mentioned it before, and as Elliot just mentioned now, you guys have all hit level 5. So congratulations with that. You've earned it. It's been a little while, but definitely. What am I looking for? I'm looking for a specific song. Come on, give me the song. Come on. Oh fuck! I had it, and then I had it again. No, I'm just looking Fine, you want it? Fine, you can have it. I don't care. Yeah, so
No.
I'm so tempted to put it at full volume. So yeah, thank you very much, my players. Always. Like I said, congratulations on level 5. We will go through all of that off stream, what they gain. For a lot of them, it's 3rd level spell slots or extra attack. It's a pretty significant level, so it's a pretty big step up. I'll be ramping up the difficulty to obviously compensate, because as you guys deserve, I wouldn't give you guys a lack of a challenge. But you smashed through this and managed to completely obliterate the druids in this area. So congratulations on the level 5. Obviously give me votes for hero points. We'll deal with that off stream. And fuck's sake. La 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 la. Wait.
La, la, la.
Not yet.
Wait.
Not yet.
You got a 3.
Welcome with.
But yeah, we'll yeah. I'm not gonna. This is going on the internet forever. So congratulations, guys.
But yeah, I just before we obviously head off for the night, I'd just like to thank a few people, especially a few of you who followed as well. There was who followed today. I think it actually reset, but there was IGX Sigmas who followed way back at the very beginning.
He's one of my friends, dude.
Really?
Yeah, man. Yeah. He knew we were streaming today.
No way.
Awesome. He watched me play Guild Wars. Oh, that's pretty cool. Shout out to him if he's still there.
Well, yeah, I mean, he followed earlier today. Beverly KVMB9369. That could actually be one of the bots again. No joke, that's a bot thing, but it sounds like it's possibly not. There was Manga. I don't know how the fuck that name. It's Mangatone. I'm going to go with Mangatone, Smitty RC, and JJ Kid 98. Thank you guys so much for the follows. As well as the £2 donation from Hunter Nair to round up the £58 to 60. I should actually sort that out all the way over there. That needs to be changed, but I will roll that donation over into that. Into whatever the next donation goal is, which will still be D&D related. I still need to, Harry, I still owe you for something. But on top of that, we, again, there's a couple more things I'm sure we can still pick up. Microphones, cameras, and the like. But thank you guys so much for watching. Brew, always. Kat, thank you, as always.
Thanks for sticking about.
And thank you for the
Big thank you to Ian for running it. Big thank you. Clap.
Wouldn't do it if I didn't love doing it. And bringing it to you guys, and I couldn't do it without you guys, honestly, you know that. So yeah, you will see us all next Tuesday. I need to actually have a chat with the players because I might not be available for the Tuesday after that, but if I'm not, we'll try and reschedule if I'm not available. Need to, again, I haven't actually mentioned that, but I'm mentioning it now. But we'll figure that all out and we'll let you know in due course so that everyone is aware of when the actual session is. But until next time, which will be Tuesday, and you'll see me Thursday. You might not see me on Thursday because it's fuck. Well, fuck. I don't care. We'll see you guys next Tuesday. That's what matters. This group here. So peace out, guys. Peace and love.
Peace.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.